Hello, my little ninjas. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News, and welcome to your Wake and Bake News at 7 p.m. I'm your host, Moxie. And tonight I have many videos for you, but not only that, it is our 400th live show, according to Craig, who's very good at keeping track of that stuff like that. Much better than I am. So our 400th live show, in case anybody's wondering, that seems like almost a milestone, right? It's fun thing, May the 4th, 400th show. It seems like it's all coming together, right? It's been a long road. But we're still here. We're still doing what we do, and it's only getting better. I mean, we actually do the show pretty darn good. So in case anybody's wondering, also on our 400th live show, we have a lovely Domino's gift card to give away, which I know you all like pizza, so we'll be doing that later in the show. So this is where we're at. I have videos about Joe Rogan and all kinds of other things. But speaking of Joe Rogan, this thing about Joe Rogan having zero credibility, this is what he said about himself. He says, I don't even trust what I say. So Joe Rogan, basically is a whore who says whatever people want them to say as long as he gets paid enough, right? So it's really sad when people don't have any integrity. It's really sad when people won't stand their ground. I don't know. I guess $100 million, will buy you a shitload of whatever it is you want. So maybe you don't need integrity when you can buy a shitload of whatever you want. I don't know. I figured this out about the Chinese movies. I keep talking about how much I enjoy their storytelling. I watch almost exclusively Chinese movies, right? I watch cartoons and I watch Chinese movies when I'm not watching C-SPAN or the news or something. And I think I figured out partially why I like the Chinese movies so much, besides the storytelling. I like it because they're always talking about honor or integrity, something like that, and they don't talk about that in American storytelling. Nobody's talking about honor, integrity. It's all, look at me, look how much money I have, look at these hot chicks, look at this unbelievable car I'm driving, I'm so fucking cool. Or I'm a fucked up psycho and I'm coming for you. But never is it about integrity or honor. And it's not that has to be what storytelling is about, but it's really interesting to see it be like this consistent thing in the Chinese storytelling, and almost impossible to find in American storytelling. American movies, American television. Mostly movies. There's a lot of cop shit on American television. And that's the thing. If it's military, if it's cops, they might talk about integrity or honor. But the truth is, cops are murderers. People in the military, they blow up. They blow up a lot of stuff with little kids in it. The military blows up hospitals. They blow up school buses. Lots of places with little kids. So I don't know where this honor and integrity shit comes from, but I find it very interesting to see it in the Chinese storytelling. That being said, we have a lovely, lovely Domino's gift card to give away later in the show, in case anybody's wondering, which, again, I know you love pizza, so you don't want to miss out on that. We have Domino's gift card. It's the 400th live show for Mox News. Now, 400 live shows out of what? 67,000 videos published. 400 live shows. I don't know. I guess we should have been doing live shows all along, probably, so that we had 11,000 live shows on record, but we wouldn't have that many. We'd have, we might have 11,000. We wouldn't have 67,000. And I think it's more, I think honestly, the catalog of information that we store is really important to, not just you and me, but to all humanity, and that's the thing that I've always been bothered about YouTube taking down the YouTube pages, in particular Mox News, C-SPAN Junkie pages. And it's the reason that the reason I have a problem with it, besides all the work that goes into it, because they took down 2 Mox News pages that had like 20,000 videos each. But it's not just all the work that goes into it. It's that there's these amazing conversations that go on. We're documenting historical things that happen, and then it's like a living history. And YouTube just goes, yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. That seems almost like a crime against humanity. I don't want to, be a drama queen or make, overly heighten what it is that I've done. Really, I don't. I'm a very simple guy. I don't need a lot of appreciation. And the thing is, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about YouTube deleting mass catalogs, 11,000, 10,000, 20,000 videos at a time. Again, that are just historical, very, very historical documenting videos. And it seems, again, like I said, just a crime against humanity for YouTube to do that. And this is why I say that the social media platforms should be seized by the government. This is why, I keep talking about, the oil companies being seized by the government, because the social media seems to want to act like, they have the right to censor anybody at any time, including the most powerful person in the world. At least that's what some would have us to believe. The President of the United States is the most powerful person in the world. And by the way, I have a video about Donald Trump and Facebook saying that they're going to consider whether or not Donald Trump should get his Facebook access back. I have a story about that coming up in a minute, which I don't think that Facebook should have that right to decide. It's really not up to them. And again, if the people don't want to listen to the President of the United States, which generally I have no interest in, every time I see Joe Biden on TV, I change the channel as quick as possible. And pretty much the same thing with Donald Trump. It's all bullshit. I don't want to listen to it. But to say somehow that Facebook has the right to censor, again, the most powerful man in the world, I think that's really, giving Facebook way too much fucking power. Not only that, it's that, platforms like Facebook, like YouTube, like Twitter, these should be the number one thing that they try to do is protect freedom of speech. And they're worried about a bunch of Karens and fucking virtue signalers who are like, oh, we can't have this on the Facebook. So, and that seems to be what Facebook, YouTube is really considering. Again, nobody's making the Karens watch. Nobody's making the Karens watch my channel. Nobody's making the virtue signals watch Donald Trump. It's, or maybe they're making themselves watch it. I can't turn away. I hate this person so much, I'm going to listen to every word they say. And they have a stupid poll at the end of the video where they're talking about putting Donald Trump back on Facebook, allowing him to have Facebook again. There's a fucking poll at the end of that story where they talk about, do you think Donald Trump should get his Facebook, his access to Facebook returned, right? And it's like 67% of people or something said no. And I'm like, how can, but they don't say how many people voted, and my guess is, maybe 10 or 15 or 20 people voted. But I don't know how people can be so anti-free speech. Again, you don't have to listen. People should be allowed to say what they want to say, and if you don't like it, go find someone that you like listening to what they say, if that's what's important to you. I say, I say shit every single day that offends so many people. It's not what I'm trying to do. It's just, again, people are so delicate these days. If you say the wrong thing to them, they're like, and I don't know how it got this way. How did people get so, how they can't take, someone saying something that they don't like. We're giving away a pizza gift card tonight. We're going to do it a little bit later. I know you guys like pizza. Today's our 400th show. We're going to celebrate it like this. I'm about ready for a dab momentarily. But I'm going to play a video for you about Joe Rogan. I'm going to play the video first where he says, I have zero credibility on all and every issue. I'm just a whore who says what they tell me to say. That's who Joe Rogan is. That's what he's conveying in this particular video. And I thought that we should start there because, again, that's what the title of the show is. So, where the fuck is Joe Rogan? There it is. Okay. So, Joe Rogan stating clearly that he has zero credibility on every single issue. Zero, none.
I think it's true, which is that, and it came out of the National Institutes of Health, and it's that over the next year or two or three, you're going to have two choices, either get vaccinated or get infected. So vaccination is always the better choice.
And CNN has a new poll out, and one number really stands out. We've been talking about this. When it comes to getting vaccinated, 26% said they will not try to get the shot. That is just amazing to me. Consider that just this week there was this uproar over comedian and podcast host Joe Rogan saying that young, healthy people didn't need the vaccine. He later recanted that. Let's listen.
I'm not an anti-vax person.
Right.
In fact, I said I believe they're safe, and I encourage many people to take them. My parents were vaccinated. I just said I don't think that if you're a young, healthy person that you need it. Their argument was you need it for other people.
So you don't transmit the virus.
That makes more sense. I'm not a doctor. I'm a moron. I'm not a respected source of information, even for me.
That's pretty incredible, Dr. Offit. How big is this battle against misinformation? And places like the Joe Rogan podcast, where a lot of people tune in and they get their information that way.
No, he's influential. You can always tell when someone's about to say something that's frankly wrong about vaccines when they start off by saying, I'm not anti-vaccine. I mean, he should round in our hospital, round in any pediatric. See that more than 3 million children have been infected with this virus. More than 200 have died from this virus, children, and that there is this disease called multi-system inflammatory disease, which can be devastating and can have, no doubt, longer-lasting problems. So those casual, offhand comments that are incorrect by people who are influential is damaging. I feel like in some ways this battle against this virus is a battle against ourselves in some manner.
Absolutely. It's been a disinformation pandemic as well. Dr. Paul Offit, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And
there's my Boo Bear. Hi, my beautiful baby. And in case anybody's wondering, he's doing better. I'm very glad about that. That's my really biggest thing right now, is to see Boo Bear doing better. So I am very, very thankful about that. Again, on our 400th live show, we are giving away a pizza gift card. And we'll be doing that a little bit later, because I know you people love pizza. So do I love pizza. I love pizza. So I have the bong all heated up, and I thought that we would do a little bong hit. So it's going to take a second to cool down. I I heated it up pretty hot. What's the matter, Pete? What's the matter, Pete? Did I say something wrong? Did I say something wrong? Goddamn right. Fucking government should seize the fucking social media platforms immediately. They should have done it under Trump. When Trump when the social media platforms kicked Trump off, he should have said, you're violating constitutional rights on this really important platform where you should be protecting freedom of speech overall. So, should be one or the other. He should have suspended use of Facebook in the United States, or he should have, and not just Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube in the United States, saying, yeah, you're not allowed to do business in this country anymore. Or he should have said the government is now seizing your companies because what you've done is anti-constitutional and anti-American. So take your fucking shit and shove it up your ass because you don't own crap anymore, fucking Zuckerberg, fucking dickhole. He hates freedom, that guy. Pete, why do you keep telling everybody to fuck off? What's the problem? That's a good way to start the show. I mean, if there's a problem, there's the phone number on the screen, dude. All you gotta do is call. You don't gotta say fuck off in the chat. You know, you want to have a discussion about it? Anybody want to have a discussion about it? You don't like what I'm saying? You think Joe Rogan has so much credibility? You think that the government shouldn't see social media companies? You want to say thanks for doing 400 live shows, Pete? Then call. The number's right there on the screen. No one's stopping you. You sound very angry today, Pete, so you know. And I don't understand why. I mean, I know what it is. You're not being able to smoke cannabis still, huh? Okay, that makes sense now. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, Jackie Cat. How is your Litecoin doing, Jackie Cat? Frosted orange? That sounds pretty good. I have some orange soda. Right. Where's it at? Let's see, orange soda. Ooh, this one. Pounds and ounces. Orange soda. Ooh, baby, I can't wait to get to that. Gonna be so good. Already making my mouth water. I am getting ready to play another video unless we start hearing from some phone callers. Man, there's a lot of people with wrenches in this fucking chat. Anybody notice that? Do not fuck around here or they'll wrench you. What? What do you want now? Hello, caller.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Calls are recorded for something purpose. Hey, so you live in Seattle, okay? I grew up in Washington. Spokane, Washington, and then I joined the military. And when I got out of the military, I was stationed at Fort Lewis, so when I got out, I stayed in that side of the state. And we've done nothing but liberalism since we owned that state. I mean, give or take, we had a Republican governor here and there. Was Dixie Lee Ray a Republican governor? I'm not sure.
Well, what does it mean?
But,
what does it mean to have liberal, so-called liberal? Because I don't think the leadership is actually liberal. I think they just pretend to be liberal because they're talking to liberal suckers who don't know any better. Just like the Republicans pretend to be conservatives because they're talking to conservative suckers who don't know any better and saying the things they want to hear.
Well, they're both equal, two sides of the same coin.
Right.
We've been scammed from the get-go. That's the big point here. And Washington got scammed big time. Inslee got scammed. I'm pretty sure. I mean, he got reelected during COVID-19, and they locked everybody down, and everybody just went for that. I mean, how did this guy get reelected? Come on, man.
Right. I hear you. I can't stand him.
Well, he's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I used to work at a bar up there in Purdy, and that was just a year or two ago, and it was an awesome little bar, just a tiny little bar. Made a whole lot of money, and now they're at half. They can only have half the people in there that have social distance and outside dining, and all this other happy horse shit, if you will.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I'm in Texas right now. I'm in Lubbock, Texas right now. I have a 909, that's a California number, but I chose that because I don't like to be traced. I like people, if I call somebody, I like them to think I'm in California instead of where I'm at.
Keep them guessing. Keep them guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And, I got some issues with the law and stuff in Washington, but I walked away from these guys because I realized, I've never had a victim to anything they've ever charged me for. I've never, ever had a victim. I've never hurt nobody or damaged anybody's property, but I've been in and out of the courtroom so many damn times. And it's cost me so much money. And at some point I had to say, you know what, I'm not getting a lawyer anymore. I'll just defend myself. And then I started reading books and I started understanding the law. And then I realized once you get in the courtroom, they don't let you defend yourself. You go pro se. They don't let you defend yourself in the Washington courtrooms anyway, unless you conduct yourself as if you are a lawyer. So when you are defending yourself, you have to stand in front of the courtroom and say the defendant when it's actually yourself. The defendant has nothing to do with this particular area of this particular program.
Here's a suggestion.
You see what I'm saying?
Just don't
You have to
be
refer to
a-holes.
you as a third
Here's a
person.
suggestion.
And
Just don't
this
be
is absolutely
a-holes.
ridiculous.
Here's a
and
suggestion.
So what I'm getting
Just
at
don't
is
be
that
a-holes.
right now we
Here's
have
a
no
suggestion.
redress of grievances.
Just don't be
Our
a-holes.
courts have been bought
Here's a
off.
suggestion.
George Soros
Just
bought them
don't
off.
be a-holes.
Warren
Here's a
Buffett bought
suggestion.
them off. Bill
Just don't
Gates
be
bought them off.
a-holes.
All these
Here's a
billionaires bought
suggestion.
them off. But
Just
George
don't
Soros
be
gets the
a-holes.
big credit for it.
Here's a
He
suggestion.
bought prosecutors
Just don't be
around this country.
a-holes.
The prosecutors
Here's a
in
suggestion.
Minnesota, prosecutors
Just don't be
in
a-holes.
Minneapolis,
Here's a
prosecutors in
suggestion.
St. Louis.
Just don't
The
be
prosecutors that were
a-holes.
prosecuting
Here's a
those two
suggestion.
people who
Just
stood
don't
out on
be
their property
a-holes.
and tried to defend
Here's a
themselves with an
suggestion.
AK-47
Just don't
and this
be
woman who had a
a-holes.
gun that didn't even function. But they stood out there they tried to prosecute that, and that was a George Soros prosecutor that he had paid for and got her paid for her campaign. I mean, in today's world, the more money you spend, the quicker you get into your spot. But also, the Republican and the Democrat, like I said, it's two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
All right, it doesn't matter who you get in these states. Whoever's promoted, the Democrat and the Republican, it doesn't matter. As long as they get it to those last two people, Democrat or Republican, and they're their two candidates, if somebody gets in there, they'll sabotage the other candidate. But they're two candidates, and they know who they want, but they actually won't be happy with either one of them because that's how our system works now. The whole system is bought and paid for. And once we got these computer machines that tally your ballots and such, that's going to have, I mean, they said it wasn't tied to the internet, but it was. And then you heard of black box voting. I forget her name, but she's a very eloquent woman. I mean, she showed us after 2012 election that Ron Paul, when you put in Ron Paul in these voting machines, it came back Obama.
Yeah.
Every time, you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we're in a pickle. We have no redress of grievances right now. The deck is stacked. You can't call a congressman right now and get anything done.
Right.
They might pander to you. They might say something. Well, I'll take a look at it.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but they might be like that press secretary that this so-called president has. She always says, "I'll circle back."
Right.
I'll circle back.
Right.
We're gonna have to circle back. Does she ever circle back? Have you ever heard another press conference where she came back and said, "Well, I'm circling back to these questions that I had earlier that I couldn't answer"? No, that's just an excuse not to answer the question.
Yeah.
So answer me this. If we're not in a really big problem right now, why do we still have fencing and 25,000 National Guards still guarding the Capitol? Was that little January 6th insurrection thing, was that so bad? I mean, Chuck Schumer said that's the equivalent to Pearl Harbor. Well, if that's what he thought was Pearl Harbor, perhaps we should go up there with our trucks, our AR-15s and whatnot, and blow through the damn fence and give them a Pearl Harbor.
Dude, I've been saying this all along, is that was a very peaceful protest. In my opinion, that was a very peaceful protest.
Well, without Antifa and BLM and a couple of QAnons,
it does.
You know?
Look, again, when you say Antifa, when you say BLM, again, these are protesters in the street, just like the people on January 6th. And they want to vilify the people on January 6th, and now you're vilifying the people, that are the BLM and the Antifa. The people that are in the streets are Americans. Okay, that's who they are. And they're standing up against the comply or die police state and demanding that the representative government hear their voices. Okay? Americans, that's who they are. Not this label, not that label. If you do that, you're buying into the bullshit.
No, you're absolutely right, and I wasn't labeling them at all, but it has been determined that there was BLM, and there's just regular Americans there, and there was BLM and Antifa, and the MAGA, and all that stuff, and QAnon's there. So I'm not labeling anybody. I really don't give a crap. I made a video on my own channel specifically stating that it was nice that we're getting together and coming together. For once, we're going to come together and protest something that was sparse. So
right.
I'm not a Trump fan.
That's exactly what I keep saying about coming together. What we need to do is get over these labels, get over this left-right bullshit, because it's a lie, and actually together recognize the common enemy. Because there's only one real threat to our freedom, and it ain't China, and it ain't Iran, and it ain't Russia. It's the people in Washington, D.C., and their ever-expanding police state.
Absolutely, and their ability to divide us in so many different avenues, from blacks against whites, from Republicans versus Democrats, from immigration people who want it and people who don't want it. I mean, there's so much division in this nation, and these people on the TV, you watch your TV screen, and all this stuff is just predominant and it stays in people's heads.
Yeah.
But if people could just have a conscious mind and turn the damn TV off, COVID-19 goes away. Racism goes away.
The fear is what they're doing, and it needs to go away. We deserve better than that. That's not informing anyone. That's just causing anxiety and anger and division, like you said.
Absolutely. Well, let's go on a different note now, okay? Because that is my home state you're sitting in right now, and you're in the Seattle area, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's my home state. I love the Cascade Mountains. I've been camping up there for years. I've been camping up in the East Side Mountains, too. I mean, in the Blue Mountains in the corner down there.
Yeah.
I've been up in the hills.
It's a beautiful state, there's no doubt.
Absolutely. You got the Columbia River and several bodies of water and several different rivers.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. It's a gorgeous place. And we got somebody up there called Inslee who is trying to make everybody run from this state. And, people are running from California because of that knucklehead Newsom down there.
Yeah.
And what the hell is going on in Oregon? How do you feel about this? They legalized or they decriminalized all use of meth, cocaine.
The drug war is a complete and utter failure. And
it should have been.
What's that?
It should have been a complete failure.
And it has been. So all that they're doing now is prosecuting and jailing people who need help. So at least in Oregon, they've stopped doing that.
Well, I just think I think we should have never had. I mean, who gave the government privileges to prohibit us from doing anything? Had they not done anything, a lot of us would have never even known the drugs were there.
Yeah.
Had the CIA not been the the primary drug
Importer?
smugglers, yeah, we would have never even known there was drugs. So
Yeah.
most of us wouldn't have had a clue there was drugs.
Well,
Only the people who did drugs would know where they were and how to get them.
the party people will always know how to have a good time.
Absolutely, and I'm all for that. I mean, I've gone outside my mind a few times. Obviously.
Yeah.
You know, but having said that, we've had a great conversation. I really appreciate your time, man. And I watch you all the time, man. I just don't have time to call in sometimes.
What's your name?
My name's Andy. I'm in Lubbock, Texas.
Right on, Andy. I really appreciate you calling. I look forward to talking to you again sometime soon.
All right, sir. Next time you got one, I'll call.
Okay, cool. Stay cool, man.
All right, Chief. All right, man.
All right. Okay, so I have another video I want to play for you guys here about Trump getting his Facebook back. I was talking about that a minute ago. I'll be right back. It's an interesting video. I figured you would want to see it.
New at 3:30, former President Trump just launched his own communications platform. Fox News is reporting it's called From the Desk of Donald J. Trump and allows the former president to post comments, images, and videos for his followers to share. This comes just one day before an oversight board at Facebook will decide if Trump can rejoin Facebook. National correspondent Christine Frizzell breaks down what they'll consider.
Will it be a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Most experts agree whatever the decision, the whole world will be watching. And the potential is huge to set policy for the future.
For how other, not just tech companies, but potentially media outlets and others around the world handle not only world leaders, but other elected officials.
The decision on whether to allow former President Trump to rejoin platforms like Facebook and Instagram comes after he was suspended indefinitely, following his speech and posts related to the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol.
The board is going to be really looking at the elements of protecting free speech, particularly political speech online, and also looking at where that intersects with inciting violence.
The board is made up of 20 members, lawyers, academics, and human rights advocates, and is viewed as a Supreme Court for Facebook and will make policy recommendations the company may adopt. But Facebook says whatever decision the board makes about former President Trump will stand. A move criticized even by Trump foe, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and the American Civil Liberties Union. Others charge the social media giant with hypocrisy after not removing posts that led to violence in countries like Sri Lanka, Ethiopia, and India, and allowing political leaders in the Philippines and Brazil to remain.
This decision will come at a time lawmakers on Capitol Hill are considering what action, if any, to take against these big tech companies in terms of reining in their power. And whichever way the Facebook board rules could have an impact on that decision.
For years, Republicans have accused social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook of censoring speech by members of their party.
I'll just cut to the chase. Big tech's out to get conservatives.
Many Democrats believe the companies are too big and have too much power. Some of that power now in the hands of an independent board. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
And that brings us to our question of the day. Should former President Trump be allowed on Facebook? So far, a majority of voters say no at 55%, 44% say yes, and 1% are not sure. You can weigh in too at comonews.com. Just click on the question of the day under the news tab.
See, now this is what I can't figure out, is how can there be 55% of people that hate freedom of speech so much? I mean, you know, so much that they're willing to sacrifice, you know, the President of the United States' freedom of speech to come out and tell you what it is he thinks you know, or thinks you need to know. You know, I don't know who these people are, but again, this is what I was saying, is that if they're going to act this way, if they're not going to act like the most important thing is protecting the freedom of speech, then they have no business having platforms like this, because because anybody who has a platform that deals with freedom of speech, that should be their top priority. You know, and all they seem to be doing is taking that away from people. And they use whatever excuse they can. Medical misinformation, censorship, censorship, censorship. Again, no one has to listen to what you say, you know. Like I said, people don't like what I say a lot. I offend many people. It's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to inform people, and it comes back to this thing where you can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. Not you in particular, but the people who get upset with me. Again, that's what the phone call is about. The phone call-in show is about. That if you don't like what I'm saying, if you do like what I'm saying, if you want to expand on what it is I'm saying, I'm here to have a conversation. And I'd love to do that with you. Otherwise, I wouldn't put up the damn number on the damn telephone screen, would I? On the damn telephone screen. On the YouTube live feed. I wouldn't put that up there if I didn't want to talk to you. So I'm just making sure you guys know where we're at. Oh, also, Craig reminded me that if we're going to give away the pizza gift card, that, he says we got to get $50 in donation. It's not up to me. I don't make the rules. So if you want to do the pizza gift card giveaway, hello, caller.
Hey, boss. How's it going?
Okay, how about you?
Over here, enjoying your show. So they're giving pizza free today, huh?
Pizza gift card, yeah.
Where's my pizza gift card, boss? I want my pizza gift card.
Yeah, don't we all? We all want it. That's the point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What is it for? Mars? Domino's? Papa John's?
Oh, Domino's.
Ah, that's a good one.
Everybody loves the Domino's. Avoid the Noid.
I see. A lot of people said, like, Mott's pizza is pretty good.
Which one?
Mott's
M-O-D?
pizza?
M-O-D? Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Craig brought me one home a month or two ago. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good, boss. You should give it a try next time, though. I used to love Papa John's.
I don't see, it's a nationwide call-in show, so I don't think there's those M-O-D pizza places all nationwide, so I want to give away a gift card in case somebody on the East Coast wins it or whatever, Manny?
Oh, yeah. I'm in Eastern Washington, so we have over here Mott's Pizza. We have like 3 locations.
Nice.
One in Kennewick, one in Richland. I don't think we have one in Pasco. I think the nearest one is going to be in Walla Walla. But yeah, it's a pretty good pizza, and I really like it though. Obviously, it's a lot of dough and a lot of bread though, but still, it's pretty good.
You know what? I really like the Domino's thick crust or their pan pizza. I like a thick crust pizza, so I don't mind that at all.
Do they have like pretzels on the side and like cheese inside?
No.
One of those pizzas on inside the edges.
Yeah, no, that's
And the bread is a pretzel bread.
Yeah, I've seen that too. That's not no, this is just a pan pizza. It's just a thick crust pizza. Like almost like Chicago style. I love that though. Yeah.
So what's the mechanics of winning that gift card?
Well, Craig's in charge. Craig says that we have to get $50 in donations in order to give away the gift card. So hopefully someone will be interested in giving away the gift card. I mean, in getting it enough to. Okay. Yeah, man. Hello? All right, I guess we lost Manny. Okay, so I am waiting. So if you guys would like to do the giveaway tonight, the pizza gift card giveaway, Craig says we got to get $50 in donations, and then we'll do it, which is always fun when we do the giveaway. It's a call-in thing, so it's like the 10th caller gets the gift card. So that's always fun, see who can call in. Hello, caller.
Michael, you fucking cunt. Sup, you son of a bitch.
What's happening?
What's up? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. My Boo Bear is looking better, and that means the world to me. So I'm doing good.
What was going on with your dog, bro? I didn't know about that.
he's having a hard time. He's getting the wobbly legs, and he's had a couple of, things happen that's difficult, but we're walking it off.
Is he old?
He's 12 and a half.
Yeah, that's pretty old for a bigger dog.
No, I'm telling you, 6 months ago, nobody in the world thought he wasn't going to live to be 20. So, but he looks like he's doing better, which is really, really important to me. And I feel, like I said, I feel good about that. You asked me how I was doing. I feel really good about that. So, how about you, Pete? What's going on with you?
Not much. I'm doing good. You're getting on my fucking nerves tonight.
About what?
Other than that, I was doing okay until I watched the first fucking 3 minutes of this shit.
What? What happened?
I wasn't in the mood to argue tonight. I don't want to argue. I don't want to end up in a screaming match, but I think that's where this might end up. But you said that the government should be in charge of social media.
Not in charge. They should seize social media in order to protect freedom of speech, because that's not what Zuckerberg
pretty
is
much
doing.
Being in charge of it.
Okay, well that's owning it. But yeah, go ahead.
I think you should know. You of all people know how corrupt and fascist our government is. We don't want them having anything to do with social media. That should be up to individual people controlling these companies. Even though Mark Zuckerberg is a fucking cunt, and I don't know who the other guy who's in charge of Twitter is, but having the government have any influence in social media is a terrible, terrible idea. And I think because Facebook's gotten so big and Twitter's gotten so big, they already like I was saying to Craig, I think they have a very cozy relationship because of the massive influence of Facebook. And I think they're part of, perhaps the government's part of why they're part of the problem. They're part of why there's so much censorship, and
there's no doubt. I'm trying to figure out how we fuck these people, because they're fucking us on a daily basis, okay? These people who want to censor, who want to act like it's okay to censor. It's not okay. This is the land of the free. And basically what I keep saying is that if you don't want to listen, how many billions of people are there on Facebook that you can go and listen to? You don't have to focus on the ones you don't like. Fucking Karens.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah, and or we just need alternate social media platforms that aren't cozy with the government, that aren't all about censorship, that really give a fuck about free speech, because Facebook certainly does not give a fuck about, Twitter certainly does not seem to give a fuck about free speech, because if you have any political disalignment, that's what I meant to say, and I said political.
Yeah.
If you have any, political disagreement with the people that are in charge of these companies, they'll fucking shut you the fuck down. And that's fucked up, man. So I think what we need is not to get the fucking government involved. That's just gonna make shit worse. What we need is other social media alternatives. We need a new Facebook. We need a new Twitter. All this other shit. And hopefully that's what'll fucking happen, because people are gonna get sick of this fucking censorship, fucking political correct fucking bullshit where you can't have a fucking political opinion without fucking people trying to cancel you and shit.
Every time, yeah, I would love to have alternative social media, because like you said, look, I'm so tired of working for years and then fucking YouTube just throws it in the trash. It's not something that I'm not used to. Long before there was a YouTube, there was all kinds of free video servers, and I'd work for 2 weeks getting shit up on them, and then a week later they'd all disappear. So I'm pretty used to it.
Dude, yeah. Absolutely. There's so many people on YouTube who their channels get shut down because YouTube never used to give a fuck about that shit. You used to be able to post whatever the fuck you wanted, and now it's
until
because the government's getting involved.
It was until Google bought it. Because it was like 3 years or so, and then Google bought it, and Google fucked everything up, man.
Well, there you go. Yeah. See, that's just proves my point, man. We need alternate social media alternatives.
That I couldn't agree with that more. I don't know why there's not some, except for it costs a lot of money to set it up.
I don't know. I think that's why we see the uprise in apps like Twitch, and there's all these other apps coming up. There probably are a lot of other social media alternatives. It's just Facebook's just the big one, and that's the one that everyone's on. So no one really wants to divert away from that. But what I think is getting the government involved and letting them seize any control. That's just a fucking road to fascism right there. Well, that's a fucking bad idea.
At the same time, if they're able to censor anything that they choose to censor, whatever bullshit reason. That's fascism too, right?
Huh?
If they can just censor whatever without any fucking bullshit reason that they want, then that's fascism too. If they're taking away your freedom of speech. Yeah.
There should be no censorship, period, at all.
Not when it comes to saying what you want to say.
Yeah, even if you have hateful shit to say, even if it's hate speech, even if it's whatever, that's you should be able to fucking say what you want to say. I always say this, like the way that you counter hateful speech is not by censoring it, is just you counter that with other speech, because the positive speech is going to overwhelm the hate speech. That's what free speech is all about.
Yeah. And people, look, people who have hate in their heart or whatever, who want to say awful things in public for public people to consume, those people, we need to know who they are. We don't want them hiding in the shadows. We need them out in the light so that we can say, yeah, I don't want anything to do with that person. I don't want to. Maybe you come into their place of business and you recognize them and you go, yeah, I'm not. Because that's what I keep thinking, is that if these people don't want your business, because they're
need to be exposed.
Yeah.
They need to be exposed. Absolutely, I agree. Yep.
And so
right.
it's almost like YouTube is covering for them. It's almost like oh, we can't let you be exposed, so we're going to hide you where people won't know who you are.
Yes, it is a weird form of protecting the pernicious racist, isn't it?
Yeah.
The other thing that pissed me off first, that you were saying that shit about the government seizing social, that fucking infuriated me. And then the whole thing of your thing today is Joe Rogan, and I've been a Rogan fan for a long time, man. Even back when his podcast was just a little comedian podcast. And make no mistake about it, Joe Rogan is a comedian. And that's what he's always been.
Joe Rogan is a fucking whore. As long as you pay him enough money, he'll say what you want. That's exactly what he said on the clip I just played.
I don't agree with that at all. I think that's bullshit, actually.
What do you mean? He said that. He said, I have zero credibility. I don't even believe the things that I say, on every subject. Okay, when the reason he said that is because he's getting $100 million a year, or $100 million contract. I don't know how much a year, and the people that he has the contract went with, said, you can't say that shit on the air, or we're taking away your $100 million. And he went, oh, I have zero credibility. I'm just a person with my head up my ass who loves to be a whore. That's the whole complete story.
That's how you interpret it. That's how you interpret it. I took it as a comedian being like, look, I think he's just sick and tired of being taken so fucking seriously. And I think he's sick and tired of being analyzed under the fucking microscope by everyone. So he just said, look.
That's what it means to be a public figure. That's what it means to be a public figure.
He doesn't want to be a public figure.
Then why the hell is he doing it? No one is forcing him to be a public figure. Are they?
No one's forcing anyone to listen to his fucking show. He
wants to be a public figure. That's clear.
No, he doesn't, dude.
Then why is he doing it? It's his choice, isn't it?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude.
He doesn't have to be a public figure. He chooses to be that.
He doesn't want to be a public figure, dude.
It's his choice. It's his choice. It's his choice.
Is immensely popular because he's fucking entertaining.
It's his choice whether or not he's a public figure. No one is forcing him to do that. So yes, he wants to be a public figure. And if you can't stand the heat, get the fuck out of the kitchen, Rogan.
I think that's what he's trying to do. That's exactly what he's trying to do by being like, look, I'm a fucking idiot. Don't take what I say seriously. He's just a guy who wants to fucking do a show and not be fucking psychoanalyzed by fucking the mainstream media. And by the way, dude, all he said was that, look, if you're a young person and you're...
I know what he said. I have a clip. I have a clip of what he said.
I know. Well, he's not espousing like how great the vaccine is. He's getting attacked in the mainstream media because the people on CNN and all these fucking places are attacking him because he's kind of anti-vaccine. So why the fuck are you attacking him?
I'm attacking him because he clearly said, I have zero credibility. And I'm not attacking him. I'm just restating what it is that he said. I have zero credibility on every single issue. Don't listen to me.
He's a fucking comedian, yeah, because he's fucking trolling everyone. He doesn't really mean that. He just wants people to fucking stop taking everything he fucking says so seriously. That's all it is. Because he's on CNN every day. Now people in the mainstream media who don't even get him at all, like, well, this is Joe Rogan on his podcast.
So it was a joke when he said young people don't need to get the vaccine. Is that right? He was just trying to be funny.
That's not what I'm saying. You're taking it out of context, Mike. He's trying to fucking get people to leave him the fuck alone and stop taking him so fucking seriously. That's what I think he was trying to fucking get at.
That's what it means to be a public figure. Okay, I've been getting death threats since long before there was a YouTube.
He's only a public figure, Mike, because his show is very entertaining and it's very popular. And
that's not why he's a public figure.
He didn't want it. It's not his fault that he's so entertaining and popular.
That's not why he's a public figure. That's not why he's a public figure. He's a public figure because he chooses that. He wants to be. You can say he doesn't want it, but he still chooses to be that. Okay, it's his choice. He doesn't have to be it, and he chooses to be that. Okay, so don't act like he doesn't have any responsibility when it comes to being a public figure.
No, if I was a guy who had a show that lots of people listened to, and I was able to get a deal, or I made some money having my show, and it got so popular, that all of a sudden I have this responsibility to be a fucking fuck that. That's fucking bullshit. I think that's how he feels about it. He doesn't want to be looked at as one of these fucking people. He just wants to fucking be a guy who does his fucking show and has the stupid fucking opinions without fucking the CNN having to analyze them all the fucking time. It's fucking stupid. It's I guess that's his fault for having such a good show. I don't know. Maybe he needs to make his show less good. I don't know. I don't know.
He needs to stop being a fucking wussy and backtracking on the shit he said. That's what he needs to be. Okay, he's a fucking whore who somebody came up to and said, hey, re-sign your fucking paycheck. You better stop saying that shit. And he's like, I don't want to lose out my $100 million. I better go say I have zero credibility and you people shouldn't be paying attention to anything I say.
He would be doing his show even if he fucking made no money. He did his show for no money, for free, for many, 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 many fucking years, Mike. This show has been around a long time, and I guarantee you, if Spotify really threatened him like that, he'd be like, "Fuck you." But he was in the position where he was offered money to do it, and he said, "Fine, I'll fucking do it." And when he does this shit like, "Oh, I'm an idiot," blah, 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 that's bullshit. He's fucking trolling people. He doesn't really believe that. He just wants to get people off his fucking back, like I'm fucking saying.
Well, as long as you're a public figure, that's never going to happen. And I would think that he would know that by now. I know it.
He's not. Look, if people look at him as a public figure, then fuck that shit.
What do you think a public figure is? Is someone who puts themselves in the spotlight so that, to somehow look and say, here, give me your attention. That's what a public figure is.
He's not out there looking for attention from people, dude. He just has a popular show. And he's been put into this position by the fucking media and everyone. He's not some attention whore out there being like, everyone listen to what I have to say. He doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks about him. He's not out there like trying to be the next fucking CNN. He's not trying to be the next fucking Howard Stern. He's just fucking having his fucking show.
I think that's good, not trying to be this, not trying to be that. He should be Joe Rogan, but he shouldn't backtrack on what he says, okay? You just said that's not a joke when he said young people don't need to get the vaccine. That's not a joke. And then he came back and he's like, oh yeah, that's I don't know anything. Don't listen to me. So.
Yeah, maybe that's a valid point, but I don't think he really believes that either. And the mainstream media even said it. They're like, oh, well, he's anti-vaccine. Which he's not, by the way. He said,
yeah,
you heard what he said.
Yeah, he said, I'm not anti-vaccine. He said it very clearly.
Yeah, he said, well, if you're an older person and you're, whatever, and, compromise, whatever, then maybe you should get the vaccine. But if you're a young person, maybe you don't fucking need it. I think that's great that there's someone out there who's, like, become kind of mainstream fucking saying that shit. That's good.
I do too. I do too. Until he fucking backtracks on what he said.
I don't think he necessarily even backtracked. He just said, "Look, I'm a fucking idiot. Don't take me seriously." that doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't mean what he said, though. He's just trying to get people off his fucking back.
He just said, "Don't take what I say seriously," right? I mean, that means.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah. Well, he said, I'm just a this. I don't know anything. I don't even trust what I say. That's what he said. So, I'm glad there's someone out there saying things like that too. It really bothers me when they say it and then they backtrack on what they said, because that shouldn't be who someone is. That doesn't seem like who he is. It seems like to me, he'd go, like you're saying, I don't care about being a public figure. You don't like what I'm saying. Fuck off. That would be more of somebody I would be, wanting to support.
He said he's not a doctor and he doesn't,
Yeah.
He said all that shit. So, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay. Well, what do you want to talk about then? How's your girlfriend?
She's fucking fantastic.
Lucky. Hard to find the fantastic ones, man.
She's not really fantastic. I'm just saying that in case she's listening right now to the world.
That's funny.
She's all right. She's cool. There's gonna be a fucking pillow coming to my face momentarily.
Were you getting any skateboarding in?
Yeah, it's nice out. So it's starting to get nice out again. So.
You write any songs lately?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm doing that.
That's important.
I'm trying to do more of it. I know. I'm trying to be creative. It's hard. It's hard work. It's fun once you write the song, but writing the song is like torture.
Well.
But, yeah.
Have you watched? I've recommended this documentary a couple times about the Bee Gees. Have you watched that? It's an HBO documentary. Yeah, they show. Look, they make great music, but besides that, they show the creative process. They would go into the studio with nothing, no songs written at all, and then they just start fucking freeballing it. Next thing you know, they got a fucking classic that's just waiting to be put on vinyl. It's a pretty good documentary. That's all I'm saying, especially for someone who loves music.
That's half talent and drugs.
Yeah,
you need a lot of drugs to do that, not just talent.
I think a lot of it.
They must have been smoking lots of weed.
I think. Well, what? Why wouldn't they?
Probably doing some acid.
Well, why wouldn't
probably.
They? But I think that has to do a lot with knowing each other really well too, because they're brothers, and they had a band way before anybody knew about them. So they've been playing together forever, and then they're like they know each other, so they can bounce back and forth off each other, and get the vibe going, man. But it was a very interesting documentary. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend it because it shows the creative process in motion, and I appreciate that sort of thing a lot.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Heroin. I bet you they did a lot of heroin.
They didn't look like heroin people to me, but you never know. A couple of them look pretty damn thin, that's for sure.
There you go. Hey, drugs are like a, make you like a creative superhero in a way, It's crazy.
Maybe. I never
And
really...
I haven't been able to do any drugs in a long time, so maybe that's why I'm not feeling particularly inspired with the music thing as much as I'm trying to do it, but...
You'll figure it out. When the time is right, you'll figure it out. I know you will.
Yeah, when I can fucking get high again.
It does make it easier to get into the groove when you got a little bit of buzz going on.
Absolutely. That's how the best do it, isn't it?
I think...
Hey, I gotta go, Michael. All right, I gotta go.
All right, bro. Stay cool.
All right. Praise Allah and fucking boy, your mommy got your dad.
All right, so that's our buddy Pete from Rhode Island, and I have a video. I'm going to play this video about Joe Rogan so that you know what it is he said, and it's a Kennedy clip, and they talk about it, him, Rogan versus Fauci, and I found that clip pretty interesting too, and we all want to be on the same page, not that we have to have the same opinion of Joe Rogan, but we want to have kind of similar information, so it is we know, so we're talking about, we're kind of on the same page, even though we may not have agreement in what we're saying. I'll play that video for you now. I'll be right back.
Oh, superstar podcaster Joe Rogan taking heat from the Fauci flock after suggesting...
Oh, also, one more thing before I play that video. We did get a donation for $25. So we're halfway to our $50 goal before we give, because we have to reach $50 in donations to give away the lovely pizza gift card. So, and it's always fun when we do our giveaways and we do the 10th caller, and it's always fun to see who wins. So I don't make the rules, people, but if you want to do the pizza gift card giveaway, we'll need to get another $25 in donations, because it was very nice of I believe it's, who is it? Let's see. This is Kevin. It's very nice of Kevin to kick down so that we can he kicked down $25. So we're halfway there. And if we could just get one or two more people to donate, we will be giving away that lovely pizza gift card. So, and I always enjoy that because, like I said, it's a lot of fun having everybody call in and see who actually wins. I always like it anyways. So, like I said, I don't make the rules, but if you want to see it happen, there's the donation links in the chat. They're also in the text body of this video, or you can go to moxnews.com, and it should be very easy to make a donation there. It should take less than 2 minutes. So, and if we get to $50, we're giving away the pizza gift card. I'm going to play this video for you from Kennedy and be right back. I believe it's video number 11.
Oh, superstar podcaster Joe Rogan taking heat from the Fauci flock after suggesting that young people, they don't need to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Watch.
If you're like 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I go, no.
Yeah.
Are you healthy? Are you a healthy person? Like, look, don't do anything stupid, but you should take care of yourself. You should, if you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time and you're young and you're eating well, like, I don't think you need to worry about this.
Joe went on to explain that his young daughters had COVID, and while it affects everyone differently, for them, it was nothing but a small cold. Today, Dr. Fauci pushed back, calling Rogan's comments incorrect, though he didn't quite explain how. So a year into this pandemic, who should we listen to? The party panel is back. Tom Bevan, Leslie Marshall, and Spike Cohen. So, Tom, I will start with you. Is Joe Rogan wrong here?
Well, I mean, that depends on your perspective. I mean, he's certainly entitled to his opinion. And for all the people out there who said he has to lose his job because he said this, that's ridiculous, right? And I also I don't subscribe to the idea that everyone is sitting around saying, like, taking their medical advice from Joe Rogan, right? And they're, oh, he said I shouldn't take the vaccine, so therefore I'm not going to take it. I think people are going to make their own informed decisions. And look, Fauci's position, his pushback was, look, you need to be vaccinated, even if you're young, because you don't want to, get COVID and be, unwittingly pass it along asymptomatically to other people, right? So you're doing it for the greater good, for the common good. And there's merit to that. So I think people have to make their own decision, but Joe Rogan is certainly entitled to his opinion, and the idea that he somehow should be censored or canceled for that is just ridiculous.
Well, he does get paid a lot of money to spout his opinions. Leslie, you have the same job. You're a talk radio host. You know that your job is to come up with big opinions, and people have a lot of them about COVID. So we've talked a lot.
Yeah,
and
but
people have a lot to
something
say about who should get the vaccine first. Okay, hold on, Leslie. I'm not done asking the question. Hang on. So we've talked. It's okay. We've talked a lot about who should get the vaccine first. People had huge opinions about that, and I shared them. People in vulnerable communities, people in nursing homes, particularly people of color in nursing homes, they should get the vaccine first. But we didn't really talk about who should get it last, and I think that's a fair discussion. Go ahead.
Well, he wasn't saying who can get it last. He was saying if you're 21 and healthy, you shouldn't get it. And here's the problem. If you look at some states, Michigan is a very good example of this right now. In the state of Michigan, they're not only having spikes, they're seeing unusually high numbers of young people in the hospital wards right now. And this is not just due to COVID-19 1, but one of the many now 5 mutations, variants of this virus. Look, I'm a talk show host, Kennedy. If you have a heart attack, if you get cancer or break a leg, do not come to me because I am not a doctor. And Joe Rogan's not a doctor. And he can say, in my opinion, if you're 21, blah, 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 blah. Those 3 words are very powerful, and as a matter of fact, they save some people lawsuits.
That is what he was saying.
Yeah, Spike, go ahead. But he was saying, like, if you're young and healthy,
if you're asking me, he said.
Yes, that's the same thing.
Joe Rogan has never claimed to be a doctor.
I don't like
and
it.
in fact, on his show, he talks a lot about the fact that he's a comedian. What he was saying is that, in his opinion, people under the age of 21 probably don't need to take it, especially if they're healthy. He also said, don't do anything stupid. Kennedy, we know the numbers. If you're under the age of 21, the odds of dying or having serious complications from COVID are actually lower than they are from the common flu for that age group. Given that, I think that you can decide whether or not you agree with Joe Rogan, but it's interesting that the government, who didn't allow doctors and medical professionals to test COVID patients for the first several weeks that the virus was here, and then started shoving COVID patients into nursing homes and mental health facilities where the people who were the most likely to die from it would get more easily infected, and then turned around and used that crisis to push for long-term lockdowns, which have been demonstrated not to work to do anything other than to cause massive human suffering and economic devastation, is very troubled about the fact that a podcaster gave his opinion about vaccines.
Yes, and many non-medical people have weighed in, to your point, Spike, who actually have a lot greater jurisdiction over some of those choices. And many of their choices were not informed by science, as they have promised. So, Leslie, I know your husband's a doctor, and I'm a doctor to a lot of people.
I didn't mention it, you did.
What's that? Oh, yeah, I did mention it because...
I didn't mention it, you did.
No, a lot of people consider me to be a medical professional, so I do offer advice, especially when it's unsolicited. Party panel returning.
It looks like, I don't know if it's the same person or not.
But it's 2 separate email addresses.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Do you want to do the giveaway earlier? We should still save it till...
Yeah, we'll wait a few minutes. Okay, so I'm going to do a big fat dab for Kevin because he was so generous to help us get the gift card giveaway going. And again, if you want to see the giveaway, pizza gift card giveaway, the rule, Craig said we have to get $50 in donations, and I will be happy. It will be fun to give the card away because I always enjoy that. It's, everybody has some fun with the call in. We give it to the 10th caller. Not only that, it's like you make somebody happy. You get to like, all right, I got a pizza in the mail. Fuck yeah. Everybody loves pizza. Is there anybody who doesn't love pizza? If there is, I think we should have a discussion about that. Have you ever actually tried pizza? Okay, so I'm going to do a bong hit for Kevin. And I wanted to ask Kevin, there's a cartoon that I watch called Final Space. And one of the main characters on Final Space is its name is Kevin. I think it's a robot. Its name is Kevin. And they're constantly yelling at him. Not now, Kevin! He's kind of one of those, what you doing? What's happening? We should do this. We should do that. But I really enjoy that cartoon. It's kind of simple, and yet it's got like kind of an exciting. It's pretty good storytelling, I think. Very odd characters. I like odd characters. That might have something to do with it. But if you're looking for a good cartoon, you should give Final Space a try. I think the Kevin character is played by Fred Armisen, voiced by Fred Armisen. That bong hit was for Kevin. Thanks a bunch, bro. Hello, caller.
Hello, Moxie.
What's happening?
How are we doing?
I'm doing good. My Boo Bear's doing better, so I'm happy about that.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good myself. I just finished the final of all finals, so I'm doing pretty good.
That does sound good.
Yeah, it was like a test for this certification thingy for computers. I needed to get 750 points. You know how many points I got?
750 points.
Close. It was 781.
You did it!
Yeah, I did the thingy. Now I don't have to take the other test. Woo.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is pretty badass. Now I just gotta do this discussion thing where I watch people's videos they made up and comment about it. But it has to be actually a comment. It can't be this was a good video. I don't get points for that. So.
Well, you want to.
I guess I gotta actually watch it.
You want to know that the people watched it if that's your assignment. So,
yeah, good point.
And it's better to be, someone who doesn't pull bullshit like that. You don't want to be that guy. It was a good video. You don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy, the bullshitter.
Yeah, you're too fucking good to be that guy. So, don't sell yourself short, man.
No, not anymore. I used to all the time. Back when I thought I was a loser and stuff.
Oh, you mean when you were a juggalo?
No, back when I had depression issues. Bad person. I thought I was a juggalo for a while there in that time period.
Yeah.
But, it wasn't the whole time. It was a long time before that. And then I was maybe I'll be a juggalo and it'll make me happy. And then after, a while, I realized, it's fun and all. Being a juggalo is fun and all, but then being around other juggalos, sometimes it pisses you off.
That is easy to imagine, my brother.
I'll describe it like this. So I used to be in the Juggalo car club and stuff. I told you about that, right?
I don't know.
I think so. Where we won a car competition and stuff, and we all had to hatch our stuff on the cars and stuff. And
I don't remember that story. What kind of car?
It was a bunch of different Chevys, and we were right next to a Dodge Neon car club, and they were just talking shit the whole weekend. Yo, motherfuckers, you're not gonna win anything. And then at the end, they announced the winners, the Hatchet Riders Car Club, and everybody's clapping. I'm sitting there, and then we look at the Dodge Neon guys, and they're just still, man, they were so pissed. But then, it was nice. Plus, we got $500, which kind of went into the cost of the whole thing. Because this one guy, he had a CNC mill, and he literally made like the logo of the car club. He built like the stand for it out of wood. It was really cool looking. So.
Yeah, it sounds like a talented guy.
Yeah, that guy really knew his shit. And we made like a little DVD presentation of all different car club members and the different festivals, and we went to the gathering of the Juggalos and one like pretty much like swept the car club competition with our car club cars.
Sounds like fun. I don't know. It seems like it would be kind of fun to be around the Juggalos a little bit, like you're saying. You know, it's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, once you go to a gathering of the Juggalos, you've been through it all. You just sit there and it's just crazy stuff going on, all kinds of crazy stuff.
But there's some pretty dang cute chicks, right?
Yeah, some of them are cute, and some of them just sit there walking around with their tits hanging out down to their ankles, going, "Who wants the butt?" And it's like, "Oh God, no way!" And then the dudes next to you from Chicago are like, "You need to take your face and get the fuck out of here with it." Okay.
I could see how that might get a little irritating.
Yeah. Well, that got crazy. That's what they did to everybody, though. They were like, "You need to get the fuck out of our spot and fuck your face." I was like, "Fuck your face." Yeah, fuck your face too. You're from Detroit.
I fuck your face.
They're doing it.
I fuck your face.
Detroit, yeah, that's well. Here's the crazy part. That culminated with Charlie Murphy. Now I tell you about this one.
Mm-hmm.
The Charlie Murphy story. Well, okay, so we had the comedy night there. All these different comedy acts, and the main event was Charlie Murphy. And we're sitting there, and he's doing his set and stuff, and he brings up the "fuck your couch" set. Skit thing. It's like, yeah, I'm talking about that "fuck your couch" shit, and then he just stops talking, but then you hear it, like it just comes over like a wave. It felt like a wave, like from the ocean, like you're watching a wave crash, and all of a sudden you just "fuck your face, fuck your face, fuck your face, fuck your face," and there's like 1,000 juggalos just going straight to Charlie Murphy. "Fuck your face. Fuck your face."
I think.
What is he gonna do? He's just gonna sit there and laugh.
I think I've been somewhere where that happened too. I can't. It sounds really familiar what you're saying. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Two Live Crew. Fuck George Bush. Fuck George Bush.
Yeah.
Fuck George Bush. They had the whole crowd doing that. What's that?
They had Two Live Crew that year. That was pretty cool. That was a good set.
Yeah.
Then they had the chick with the badonka-donks and all that, and Miss Juggalette contest, whatever, all that shit. Even had a carnival there. We had a carnival ride, the carnival food. I pretty much lived, it was an entire weekend. I sustained my entire weekend off of carny food.
That's not a good plan.
There's dirty burgers and freaking drinks and hot dogs and over the hell I found off the ground. And, no, I'm kidding. We did do some crazy shit, and I did wake up on the ground one day. That was interesting.
You know, you wake up crazy places when you're having a crazy time.
Yeah, that was some crazy time. I think somebody died that year. That was a crazy year.
Yeah, that's pretty. Whew. That would make you think twice about going next year.
Yeah, I haven't been since. I don't think I will. Like I said, you go to one of them, you've pretty much been to them all. It's just like, it's kind of like Woodstock, but, you know, for juggalos. That's all it is.
It's kind of like a Grateful Dead concert.
Yeah, like a weekend-long Grateful Dead concert, but with rap groups of the underground Detroit flavor and other types of that horrorcore rap, they call it. It used to be called acid rap, then it became horrorcore. It's kind of like how metal progressed over the years, you know, morphed into different types of metal music.
Yeah. Or new punk morphed into something too.
Yeah, I think punk morphed into metal, and metal like diverged into three different. I had this cool wallpaper that showed it, like all the different types of metal music and stuff.
You ever seen the Cramps?
The Cramps?
Yeah, no, never mind.
You mean with Tim Allen? The Alley?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a. Well, you said horror band or whatever it was. You said what did you say about
horrorcore rap?
Horrorcore rap. I saw them on Halloween one night, and they were amazing, dude. And they had a couple other bands with them that were definitely horrorcore rap. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Horrorcore. They got that, and then they got nerdcore rap, which is event. Yeah, that was like MC. They got MC Lars and MC Front a Lot, and then my boy MC Chris. That dude he sounds like he's 10 years old. He actually literally made a song about sounding like he's 10 years old, but he can rap.
You know what? If you got talent, you got talent. Doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he was like in his 20s. So now he's in the 30s. He's got a kid and stuff now, but he was making all kinds of albums. Well, right around the same time when ICP and Encyclopathic Records is really good. Or mid-2000s, Like, there's all these different styles of rap that weren't like a regular, like bitches, hoes, and drugs and
do you know any of those? You don't know any of those ICP guys, do you?
Not personally.
Yeah.
But I've definitely, I've given them a weed enough times to say, I think they know who I am.
They should take Riddlebox and they should make a stage play out of it. It would be like one of the hottest things on fucking Broadway, dude.
Well, you know what they did do? They made a concert of Violent J's Wizard of the Hood LP where he did it's kind of like a hood version of Wizard of Oz.
They made a video, or it's just a stay? Is it?
It's a whole concert of the entire 40-minute long album, and they're dressed up as the Scarecrow and that, and they all talk. He's like, the Scarecrow's got a good song where all he wants to have is a homie to smoke with. That's all he wants,
That's better than a brain.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't need that. He just needed some homies to smoke with, and I kind of want to listen to the song now, and that whole album was great. That was a good album because it was definitely a weed smoker's album. That was when Violent J started finally smoking weed, and then things, because he was popping pills and shit for 10 years. It was getting bad.
I'm kind of glad you can only do that shit for so long, and then you die.
Yeah, exactly. I remember a Howard Stern interview where Howard Stern's like, "Wow, Violent J, you look great. What have you been doing lately?" And he goes, "The sweet cannabis and nectar." And then they just go, "Oh." So that was always funny to me.
It's important, man. If you don't have enough cannabis in your life, it's not good. It's like everything, including all these things like cancer and all these free radical things that are constantly attacking us. If you don't have cannabis, your immune system is just not properly charged, in my opinion. I guess we lost the Juggalo. It was nice to hear from. All right, so it's always nice to hear from him. It looks like we have made our $50 mark in order to give away the pizza gift card giveaway. So I want to do another bong hit for the people that helped make our high water mark to give away the card. I want to do a bong hit for them, even though it's not Bong Hit Friday. I was going to come out and say today is not Bong Hit Friday. Dabs for not Bong Hit Friday. But I'm going to do dabs for the people anyways because they've been so generous with not only me, but everyone here in order to reach our goal so that we can give the pizza gift card giveaway, make it happen to some lucky viewer, or I should say lucky caller, because you're going to have to call the number on the screen. Not yet, but soon and for the rest of your life. I need to play more videos because we have a lot of videos to play here, and we're not going to get through them if I don't try and play some of them. So I'm going to play this one for you right now because it's a short clip and it talks about hello caller.
Hey, Mike, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
First of all, happy 400th show.
Thanks, man. Happy and may the 4th be with you.
Yes. May the 4th be with you. Absolutely. And I guess 4 is a stable number in Chinese numerology.
It's my favorite number, actually. 4 is my favorite number.
It's really solid. So 400 is a positive thing. I had a good day today. I worked in the garden, transplanted starts, put some houseplants in new pots.
Excellent.
And planted okra, corn, and zucchini.
Awesome. You're a planting fool, man.
I know.
You love working in the garden, though, huh?
I do, and I need to do it more often. If I spent just 45 minutes a day in the garden, my life would be a lot happier.
And I could tell you felt the same way when you were doing professional gardening for the cannabis company, right? You enjoyed it just as much when you were actually doing work, didn't you?
Yeah, of course I did. I mean, and I enjoy landscaping, and just working with plants generally. Like, it's just kind of a high when you're working around things that are alive and green, and you're taking care of them or whatever, managing them. It's interesting.
It's definitely a high when you're interacting with nature. That's the way I would say
it.
Yeah,
and a lot of times when you're working in a landscape or you're working in a farm, you're working outside, so you're not like confined to a room. And it's pretty straightforward, like you were talking about last night, with maybe gardening education as being like incorporated at the elementary school education. There is an elementary school here in Olympia where they have a community garden as part of the elementary school. Like there's a greenhouse attached next to the elementary school, and the kids have plants that they grow, and they have some instruction in gardening. And there's an outdoor garden where I believe some of the food actually does end up in the cafeteria. So they do try to incorporate gardening.
It should be a mandatory thing, just as important as history or math,
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just at the experimental school.
Yeah.
Right, where certain people go, but it's there. I mean, they know, the school district certainly knows it's a good idea. And I kind of like the idea, too, of like, just imagine if we had evolved to like, we have sophisticated enough society, right, where you could have summer camps where kids could go for like 2-week intervals paid for by the state, right, where they also learn things like intensive gardening and, basic skills and so on and so forth, as part of their education. Because a lot of what education is they're in these office settings, or they're in a situation where they're just doing something repetitively, instead of like being in I thought field trips were a pretty big deal. An important part of school was being able to learn in a different setting besides in a classroom, which is really kind of a fake setting.
It's not natural for sure.
No. My brain has really been focused on Peter Sellers.
Oh, yeah?
Since I watched that Alice B. Toklas movie that you recommended. Since then, I've watched 3 or 4 of his films. Like I watched Casino Royale last night.
I love Casino Royale. Most people don't like it, but I love that movie.
And it was a strange. That movie was definitely influenced by acid as well,
to say the least.
The cinematography where they have like black and white cutouts, so you're seeing just like an image, like a triangle or something, and then there's these, different colored lights with pictures that are changing as part of the movie. It was kind of psychedelic.
And
it had 1967.
It had lots of hot girls in it, and I love the scene where Peter Sellers is Ursula Andress is jumping on the bed, and she's got like a feather pillow that's going everywhere, and they're playing "The Look of Love." Yeah. I love that. But
Orson Welles. Welles plays one of the villains, like the big gambler villain.
Oh yeah, and Woody Allen is the main villain.
Woody Allen plays, I think it's Johnny Bond or something like that. He's like a.
It's a James. For those who don't know, it's a James Bond movie, but it's not really. Go ahead.
It's a James Bond spoof movie. Yeah, that was the first one to come out, like in 3 or 4 years after the first couple of Bond movies.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was weird, but Peter Sellers again, amazing. And then I also watched Murder by Death, that 1967 movie.
Yeah.
That also had David Niven was in both of those movies as well.
Yeah.
And then I watched this biopic that was made, I think by maybe HBO Films, with Geoffrey Rush. He's an Australian actor, but the movie was called The Life and Death of Peter Sellers, and I don't know when it came out. I imagine it came out in the early 2000s, and maybe 2005. And after watching the biopic, and then tonight I'm going to watch Being There, which I've seen numerous times. But
yeah, that's where he becomes like the advisor to the president or whatever.
Yeah, he plays a gardener.
Yeah.
And he's a gardener for a wealthy estate who turns out is probably like, the illegitimate offspring of the owner who's been raised. And, he also has some mental illness. Not illness, but he's got developmental disabilities.
Yeah, he's like autistic or something.
Yeah, and he's like taken care of by the nurse his entire life, and then the old man dies.
Right.
And nobody is aware of his existence.
Right.
But he just continues to be himself, which is kind of like a simple person who likes to work in the garden.
Yeah.
And then he ends up getting through a series of weird accidents. He gets hit by a limousine, and the person in the limousine takes him to a big house, and the person at the big house is an advisor to the president, and then he impresses all of these people with his charm and simplicity, and ends up getting an audience with the president. And then the news media picks it up, and he becomes like, a celebrity of sorts, all in a matter of like days.
Yeah.
And then Peter Sellers just plays this very simple person. So it's really amazing. But in this biography about Peter Sellers, what was weird is like the guy had a really unhappy life. Peter Sellers had 4 marriages. He had a domineering mother who really wanted like him to succeed and wanted him to make money. She was kind of always interfering in his life. And he claimed like he had no sense of identity at all. So like when he would play these characters like in Dr. Strangelove or these comedies in the 50s, these British movies where he like played all of these different characters, comic characters, his explanation is that he was those people. He wasn't Peter Sellers necessarily.
Yeah.
And then when he left work, he would go home as like the crazy German scientist from Dr. Strangelove, and that's who he would be like for 3 or 4 weeks. And that isn't always like convenient when you say something like, could you put the milk in the refrigerator, or did you see what our kids were doing in the living room? And
she puts the lotion on her skin or else she gets the toes again. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then he also, like a lot of these people, like these famous Hollywood people like Charlie Chaplin and even like Federico Fellini, super famous people and even Peter Sellers, they just fell in love with these super, super beautiful women,
who doesn't?
Incredible, the most beautiful, whatever, models of their day or whatnot. And so that also, their hormones were affecting their judgment. But basically, he just felt like he wasn't really anybody.
Yeah.
He didn't really feel like he had any identity.
That's really sad. Ooh, the Doge's hit his 64. Somebody's going to be happy about that.
Oh yeah, that cryptocurrency. Yeah. Joe Rogan. The controversy about Joe Rogan. We talked about this the other night, but I do think that he got pressure. I think it's pretty clear that he didn't just come forward because he had to come forward. He came forward because somebody pressured him.
Yeah.
To come forward.
He came forward because he's a money-grubbing whore who says what they want him to say as long as they pay him enough.
Yeah. So I would like to dedicate this song, since it's the 400th anniversary, and I don't think that my terrible voice has ever been copyrighted. So this is from the audience of Joe Rogan to Joe Rogan. You're Cold as Ice by Foreigner, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love. You never take advice. Someday you'll pay the price. I know. I've seen it before. It happens all the time. You're closing the door. You leave the world behind. You're digging for gold. You're throwing away a fortune in feelings, but someday you'll pay. Dun, 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 dun.
We saw that's
Remember that?
Foreigner, right? That's Foreigner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Craig
That's right.
saw Foreigner a couple of years ago. They played that song. It's really good. Actually,
Anyway,
it's great.
I was trying to find out whether Joe Rogan's listeners had left his program. You know, that question you asked the other night, and I haven't found any evidence for it one way or the other. You know, that he picked up mainstream
Yeah,
viewers who
well,
were
it would be
"Oh,
really
God, Joe
interesting to
Rogan."
to understand what happened there. If he was, trying to get more attention and succeeded, or what, But again, I just see him as a money grubbing whore who says what he's paid, whatever he's paid to whoever pays him the highest price. Hey, do you want to know my favorite Peter Sellers movie? And one of my favorite movies is A Shot in the Dark. And it's one of his Inspector Clouseau movies.
One of his early ones, from the mid '60s.
Yeah, and I think it's like 65 or something. It's one of my favorite all-time movies. I've watched it like 12 times in a row. I'm telling you, I love that movie.
Yeah, I also recently watched that Charlie Chaplin movie, A King in New York, which is from 1957. It's the only movie that was a talkie with Charlie Chaplin. He had one sentence in The Last Dictator, but this was like a regular film that was released in the 1950s where Charlie Chaplin played a role as a talking character, and it was pretty interesting. A lot of it was about anti-communism, he was really kind of ridiculing the fascist and authoritarian attitudes in New York in the storyline where a kid is homeless, hangs out in front of his hotel, kind of reminds everyone of the young Charlie Chaplin. He brings him into this the Ritz-Carlton hotel as a guest, and it turns out that the kid's parents were teachers who were losing their jobs because they had been accused of being communist, right? And he happens to be an exiled king from another country in New York for just a couple of weeks. So he gets entangled in this story about how this kid's parents are being persecuted because of their political beliefs. And it's the only movie that Charlie Chaplin made where he talked, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of important. The last time he had said anything, he was warning the world about Adolf Hitler. And in this movie, he was talking about how America sucked because of the people's views were limited, and it's kind of in a fascist kind of atmosphere. So I thought that was interesting, and I wonder, I don't know. I think a lot of comedians, especially, have troubles with that, especially if they're smart. Like Robin Williams, remember he was chronically depressed.
Yeah.
Lenny Bruce killed himself. Others had John Belushi. Serious drug issues so I wonder just being aware of
Yeah, I heard Chris Farley was never happy, I mean, these are people who are on top of the world, everybody wishes they could be them. Maybe not Chris Farley. He's carrying a little bit too much weight, but that would be hard. But yeah, fucking funny. I love Chris Farley. But yeah, I see that too. How all these people, they're on top of the world, top of their game, couldn't get any better, and yet they're just not happy. It's very difficult for me to understand that. I'm glad I don't understand it, really.
Yeah, I am too. I did want to mention one real story, one kind of real story before. I know there are other callers on the line that I haven't seen discussed in mainstream media. I found a link to it from antiwar.com. I followed the link, and it went to a site called military.com, which is mostly geared towards military veterans and people who were in the military. And this article was posted on the 28th of April, about a week ago, and it's by Steve Bevden. And the title of the article, and this really is kind of interesting, it says, Veterans Association, the VA secretary, wants more veterans sickened by burn pits to file claims, but many are still being turned away. So it's basically saying this general in charge of the VA is encouraging people to come forward to say whether or not they had, whether they're having issues as a consequence of exposure to burn pits in Iraq and Afghanistan. And this is what the article says. It says, as of March 31st, the VA had denied 72% of burn pit claims, according to agency data obtained by military.com. Between June 2007 and March 31st, the VA processed 15,000 disability compensation claims related to burn pit exposure. Of these, 3,500 veterans had at least one burn pit issue granted. The top three diagnoses related to burn pits are bronchial asthma, chronic bronchitis, and allergic rhinitis, according to department data. The most common reasons for a veteran to be denied is not having been diagnosed with a medical condition or being unable to connect the condition to their service, 43% and 42% of denials respectively. But the data doesn't reflect the scope of the issue. The number of patients filing claims might be disproportionately small, given that the VA, this is what got my attention, like, the VA estimates 3.5 million veterans have been exposed to burn pits since 1990, and it's unclear.
I bet that's a low estimate. Go ahead.
And it says it's unclear how many are sick due to exposure or have died as a consequence. The burn pit data also could be inherently flawed. To get the data, the VA had to use text mining, searching for keywords like burn pits in patient databases, according to department records. This means patients coming forward with issues related to burn pits might not automatically be listed as burn pit patients. That phase wasn't used in the records. Out of the 2.5 million global war on terrorism veterans, 2.5 million veterans, 780,384 have filed claims related to respiratory issues, according to VA data obtained by military.com. 63% were granted. Of all of the global war on terrorism veterans, 42,600 claims were related to cancer. 37% of those claims were granted. So only a third. The VA's research shows the global war on terrorism veterans are 3 times more likely than non-deployed veterans to file claims related to respiratory issues and twice as likely to file claims for cancer. Now, this has got so many different issues involved, but the primary one for me is that, the government just takes these kids, right? Like I said the other day, indoctrinates them when they're like 18, 19 years old, and then sends them off to be like unwelcome occupiers in foreign lands. And while they're there, they expose them to toxic chemicals from open burn pits all over the fucking world. Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever the military is, they want to get rid of shit. They just dig a hole and they start burning shit, right? And soldiers are exposed to this. So I was thinking, like, 3.5 million, 2.5 million soldiers. I want people to realize, the first thing I said is, well, can you sue the Army, right? And then I did a quick Google search, and in fact, like, you can't sue the Army, all right? You cannot sue the Army. So it says, according to Google, can you sue the Army for emotional distress? You can't sue. The Supreme Court said long ago that service members cannot sue for injuries received during service.
Well, this burn pit thing is really, really bad, and it's throughout they just throw things into this burn pit that's just full of chemicals and stuff, and it just goes, it goes everywhere. So let alone all the soldiers that are exposed to it, I imagine tons and tons of civilians are exposed to it too. It's a horrible practice. It's a horrible practice. And the reason they do it is so that they don't have to pack the shit up, the fucking waste, the toxic shit, and then take it back to America. They just want to leave a big old cesspool in whatever country they just kicked the shit out of.
But no employer, Mike, in the United States would be able to do that and expose their workers, to the point where 780,000 of them apply for claims for respiratory illnesses. No one else can do that. So, it's almost like, they get this free labor or pretty low labor, not very expensive labor, and they can do whatever they want with them.
Oh, that's not going up. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I want. That was the one serious story I wanted to share. And anyway, that's all I wanted to mention tonight. And again,
I posted stories about the burn holes too. What are they? Burn what? Burn hole?
Burn pits. I mean, I'm just bringing this to people's attention because I don't think it's something that people think about very often, right? That like veterans who have been taken advantage of have all of these health problems, and they're not even allowed to sue the government for some kind of compensation in a class action lawsuit.
Let alone
they're kind of limited.
Let alone the PTSD that goes along with being a soldier. Hey,
that too.
Yeah.
But if you're denied like a claim though, and you're using like veteran services for your medical care, right? I mean, basically, if you have something like cancer, or if you have like emphysema or something, it's directly related to your time in the military, but you just don't get a claim. I mean, you still have to take care of that.
Yeah.
Right? It isn't like
it's still a health condition that you have to deal with.
That's right. All right, Mike. Have a good night.
Okay, Chris. Thanks for calling.
Bye bye.
Okay, talk to you later. And that's our buddy Chris from Olympia. And I have this video I was gonna play for you before we were so rudely interrupted. And so, we have reached our goal of $50 to give away the pizza gift card. So we will be doing that shortly, but I want to play this video for you and heat up the bong, and I'll be right back.
Welcome back, and we begin this half hour with a King 5 exclusive. King County Sheriff's deputies are calling on Sheriff Mitzi Johanknick to resign.
This follows similar calls from King County's executive and council members. King 5's Chris Daniels has the story.
I like to say we're a rudderless ship adrift at sea without a captain. And that's how it feels right now, and a lot of the deputies feel that way also.
Mike Manzanares is the Guild president.
Overwhelmingly would like her to resign.
He says a Guild survey of union membership have Johanknick with 86% saying they have little or low confidence in the sheriff's ability to lead. 95% also gave her low marks on communication with deputies, which Manzanares says has led to massive attrition.
I mean, like right now, sometimes it feels that the pool that we're coming from is a shallow end of a puddle.
The union call comes after multiple elected leaders have done the same, including King County Executive Dow Constantine and his challenger, State Senator Joe Wynn. County Council members Gurmai Zahalai, Joe McDermott, and Dave Upthegrove have also issued similar statements over her comments related to the settlement over the deadly police shooting of Tommy Lay. Johanknick was elected in 2017, but based on another public vote last fall, would have to be reappointed to continue.
Is she being targeted here by the union because she is LGBTQ?
Not
is she
at
being
all.
Targeted because she is a woman?
Not at all. We had Sue Rohr, who was a sheriff under my regime before John Urquhart. It's not because she's a woman.
But Manzanares says there are other and multiple reasons behind the union's vote.
What we're tired of seeing in that discipline is the disparity amongst ranks. And that's why we always say different spanks for different ranks. We were sent to the front lines with no equipment, no training, and it put deputies in harm's way. We don't feel that, she pushed very hard for us to get vaccinated. I hope she honestly looks at that and decides to walk away. That's all we can ask for, because right now it's not good.
Despite all of those calls, Johanknick has been resolved, saying she will not resign. Her term ends in December of this year, and already the county executive and county council members have started soliciting community input and will begin the process of formally interviewing potential candidates to replace her later on this year. That is the story for now. Here in Seattle, I'm Chris Daniels, King 5 News.
All right, so that sheriff is not only despised by the community that she serves, she's also despised by the cops that she works with. How often have you ever heard cops come out and speak against cops? Nobody seems to like this person, and I find that part fascinating. This bong hit is for Kevin, because somebody named Kevin just gave a second donation, or just gave a donation for $25, which made our $50 goal. Hello, caller.
What's up, man? It's Brandon, man. How you
Hey,
doing?
B, it's good to hear from you. I was like, man, we haven't heard from Brandon for a while earlier today.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what? I'm going to be honest. You hit it nail on the head when it comes to Joe Rogan, which I know a lot of your listeners are like myself, fans of Joe Rogan. But He's always used the same excuse. What do I know? I'm a comedian. But ever since he relocated to Texas and Spotify, because I listened to his podcast, and they're really kind of hard to watch because it seems like the majority of his podcasts are extremely political now. When it wasn't like that, he would just have a guy on there, and yes, he had his far right people, his far left people. I mean, he gave politicians a chance to come on there and talk, yeah, for him not to stick to his guns, it's just because he can't, because he's corporate now, And there's I don't know if it's a USA Today or New York Times or Washington Post or whatever, but there's an article out where they pretty much pulled like 40-something episodes off of his catalog already. Meaning Spotify from his earlier podcast from back in the day.
Yeah.
Like some with some hard-leaning, right-leaning people. So he's already laid it in the bed. I ain't going to say with the devil he was making good money, but like you said, he wanted to be something more. And I'm going to tell you why I know that's true, Mox, is because all of a sudden now, this is a guy that's in his 50s, and his best friends are like Navy SEALs.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying? Which don't
Yeah.
you have no connection to anybody in the military, but for some reason you want to feel special, or you have that gap in your life, and now you realize, and probably that's the reason why he picked up hunting so late in his life, and including marijuana. He didn't start smoking marijuana until like his mid or late 30s.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I follow Joe Rogan like on social media, and I've listened to so many, hundreds of his podcasts, because I enjoy the questions he asks, Mom. That's it. And if he has a buddy on there and they get high and they're both comedians, it's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? But ever since he made that move to Spotify and he moved from California to Austin, Texas, his quality of material has went down because he doesn't smoke weed on the podcast no more because it's filmed in Texas and he can go to jail. So I think that's one of the biggest fuck ups.
And I said that too. I was like, yeah, let's see you smoke weed on the air now, Rogan, because I think it's stupid to move from a state where weed is legal to a state where weed isn't legal. What kind of freedom-loving person would ever do that,
I would believe that a very, very wealthy person said we need to get him to Texas. The pandemic's going on, and they brought in the alpha male of males when it comes to podcasts. There's no other podcast that's more alpha male than, say, Joe Rogan. Okay, he's a comedian. He talks shit. He don't give a fuck. He's an MMA fighter, Taekwondo champion, black belt jiu-jitsu. He hosts, he commentates MMA, and he's an actor. He's a bad, and whatever, right? And he looks healthy. You know what I'm saying? So you have all these males.
Yeah, he's buff.
And
That's
I
for sure.
That's what I'm gonna go political. That's what the Republican Party need to help vote. And so they moved him to the middle of the fucking country in Texas to where he don't have the freedom to fucking smoke marijuana. So he already sold out because he gave up his own freedom.
Yeah.
For what?
Which is exactly what I said,
he was
man.
mad because the comedy clubs were closed in California and they're open and whatnot. That's all bullshit.
No, it's bullshit, yeah.
He really sold out just on the same thing he talks about. How come I can't grow a plant? How come I can't eat a pot brownie? How come I can't eat a mushroom? Blah, 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 blah. He totally sold out, and now he's corporate. So he's going to have to backpedal. And there will be fans like myself that will back out because I don't listen to all his podcasts unless he has somebody that I want to hear now. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
he's
understandable.
lost me as a paying customer.
Look, I I want people with integrity. I was saying that at the beginning of the show. You know, is it partially why I love the Chinese storytelling is that, you know, there's this honor. They talk about honor and they talk about integrity, and you don't see that in American storytelling. You know, it's just like, look at me, look at me. And what I want, especially when there's so many people turning to this guy and listening to him, like he has, you know, he's pretty smart and he's got shit going on, you know, then to backtrack, you know, how does it make these other people like view integrity? Like, yeah, fuck integrity, fuck honor, man. If I can get the money, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I've heard him call out when a New York Times or whatever organization, Fox, CNN, or whatever, will put out a bogus story.
Yeah.
And he'll call them out. Well,
right.
That was a lie. That was a lie. That's not what happened. You know, but yeah, you know, but you know what, again, like I've always said, we all have a problem calling our own out. And one reason why we're kind of, what you were saying a split second earlier, was that, like, America is this melting pot. So when all these other countries are extremely proud of themselves, they're proud because they're Italian, or they're French, or they're Colonese, or they're Egyptian. You know, they did that. Here in this country, it's like, if a black person do it, okay. If a white person do it, okay. An Asian person do it, okay, big deal. It's, you know, we don't really give a fuck. Unless it's a sports team. And that's it. That's the only thing that brings us together, man. It's sports.
It's, I see, that's why I keep saying again and again that we're Americans, you know, the people in the street, they're Americans because they have that sports mentality of us against them. You know, they're the bad guys, we're the good guys, and such. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But yeah.
Hey, you got a Domino's by your house? You got a Domino's by your house?
Yeah, we got a Domino's by our house, man.
All right, we're giving away a gift card, so you better try and get it.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Did you find a favorite product at the recreational store? It's rec or near medical, right? Did you find a favorite product at the medical?
Well, okay. Well, I can tell you that adventure. I went shopping and it looked like a jewelry store. Literally. They had it in like the glass case and all the buds was set in something that reflected it, so it looked so beautiful. You could see the crystals, everything. Yeah. They had the edibles. So the first time I got some edibles and I got some buds and I got some pre-rolls, and I never had like the pre-rolls before, but they was all right. You know, they're expensive. Like they was like, I want to say it was 2.5 grams total for 5 pre-rolls for $99.
Yeah, you know what, Brandon, let me give you my advice on that kind of stuff. Is you were just talking about how you could see the crystals and everything. That's what you want to see. You want to see that before you invest in anything. So, because I buy the oils, tried honestly, the edibles in the stores never did anything for me. But I'm telling you, if you had one of my brownies, you'd be like, whoa, you know?
Well, okay, all right. Well, whenever I make my vacation to Seattle, I'll let your ass know.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying, though, is as far as, giving you a newbie a little bit of advice, you want to see those crystals when you go to buy, your cannabis. The only way to know what you're getting is to actually see it. You can't tell for sure from because, they're going to take all the choice buds and they're going to put them in the plastic where people can see. And then they're going to take the ones that aren't so pretty and they're going to roll the joints out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I did not know that.
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I got you.
So did you find a favorite product or not?
Well, I bought 2 8. Well, again, Mike, I don't know how to do this shit. So I bought 2 packs, pretty much. Like the 8 was like $54 or $53 of David Banner, but it's just sativa is not indica.
It's Bruce Banner, right?
Yeah, Bruce Banner,
Yeah.
something like that. I don't fucking know.
Bruce
Yeah,
Banner.
yeah.
Bruce Banner is the guy who's the Hulk. When he's not the Hulk,
Yeah.
he's Dr. Bruce
And
Banner.
that's why it's so green.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That shit is green. Okay, damn, I learned something tonight. I tell you what, that's why, listen, people, that's why you call in to learn stuff, okay? Come on.
And it's fun. And it's fun.
Oh, this dude, it's absolutely great. You always put on a fucking good show. You bring a really good topic, and you do your research in all your videos. You know what I'm saying? That's where you kick ass at, right there, man. Like, you kick ass on the mic, you know, speaking, but your videos is like, are you fucking serious? This happened in, like, 2000, 20,
Yeah.
or whatever, 21,
Yeah.
and it happened in America, in Atlanta, or whatever, right? A major city.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? Yeah.
What's the weather like there, B?
Oh, man, it's been storming a lot, man. Like, there's been a lot of tornadoes. A matter of fact, we have a fault line on the border of Arkansas and Missouri, and I live in St. Louis. So we had a earthquake, like a 2.5, in the city next over, or the town. I'm gonna say it's a town. The town next over from us. That's where my son goes to high school at. And it was like a 2.5 earthquake, totally out the blue, right there.
I bet that surprises the heck out of
it's
people
just-
there.
Yeah, well, it was like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was up, and we live like my house was like 5 minutes away from my son's high school, so that's that reason. But I didn't feel nothing,
Yeah.
3:30 in the morning.
2-pointer is not going to shake you out of bed.
Oh yeah, man. But shit, man. You know what, man? We just waiting to get the school year over with, to be honest. And I'm gonna make my son. He's 16. He has to get a job. So I'm gonna make him get a job. Meanwhile, I'm gonna make his ass. He has no choice. At Home Depot, and there you go. And he can learn about man tools and stuff like that, and guards and whatever.
You make new friends, and you get to learn more what it means to be an adult.
Yes, because that's an adult job. You're just not making a hamburger or packing groceries.
And nobody likes those. That's such like an ego crushing job to do that kind of work. I feel really bad for those people. That would be the last thing you want to do to your son, because that would turn him off to the idea of working.
Well, that, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Because I've worked in those jobs before, and
I feel bad
they're
for them.
okay, but you're just dealing with customers. But today's customers are different than the customers I had back in like 92, 93.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My first job was working at McDonald's, and it was way different back then. But it just seems like unappreciative, like the boss is always looking at you sideways and shit like that, like you're not working hard enough or something,
Well, you know what? Look at it this way. Probably 90% of the sales that Home Depot do or Lowe's do are the homeowners. Okay? So, meaning that mainly people who own property shop at those stores. If you're renting a house, it's unless it's in your lease to
Right.
tend
I
the
get what
fucking
you're
flower
saying. Yeah, I
beds
get
or
what
not,
you're
right?
saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But everybody can go and shop at McDonald's, Burger King, or those other types of stores.
Yeah.
But I would rather, prefer for my son to deal with people who are obviously selling a product to successful people, because they're 90% of them are homeowners.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not going to deal with a lot of craziness and bullshit, and the motherfucker pissed off because you didn't take the pickles off.
Right, because somebody, well, or even because somebody's just having a bad day, they're not going to fuck with you because, you know, you're, you know, I don't know. It seems like the Home Depot is pretty chill, you know, like people aren't.
Because you're going there to either fix a hole in the wall, you need something for your plumbing.
Yeah,
paint,
I go there for garden supplies and propane.
Yeah, exactly.
Garden supplies and propane.
Meaning whatever you buy at Home Depot or Lowe's or one of those type of stores, you gotta physically go install that someday. You know what I'm saying? And believe me, you already don't want to have to fix your toilet. You already want to dig in that toilet. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know that's who you're dealing with. You know, you ain't dealing with somebody that's really happy.
I bet he learned a lot working there, Brandon.
Well, he ain't got no damn choice. I told his ass.
No, but I bet he's gonna learn. You know what I mean? It's like an opportunity to learn a lot there.
He's a good kid, man. He's already got good people. He's a great kid.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. No, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Hey, I gotta take a break. Brandon. I'm sorry.
All right, man.
All right, it's so good. Hey, it's really good to hear from you because I was thinking, man, we haven't heard from Brandon for a while, so call back soon.
Man. Hey, my ass be listening.
I know you're out there.
I just don't call in all damn time.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Then I hope.
All right, take care,
cool.
guys.
Okay, so I'm going to play a video, and then we're going to come back and give away the lovely, glorious pizza gift card. I'll be right back. Hold on one second. This is about the NRA bankruptcy court that's going on right now, trial.
Well, new tonight, the NRA on trial months after declaring bankruptcy. The National Rifle Association under fire from New York's Attorney General Letitia James, who calls the gun rights group intentionally deceptive. But NRA advocates say this is all about retaliation. News Nation correspondent Tom Negevin is live in New York to break down both sides of this case. Tom.
Yeah, that's it, Nicole. You know, the NRA filed for Chapter 11 back in January, looking to reorganize and relocate to an environment it considered friendlier in Texas, saying it was looking to escape a corrupt, what it said was corrupt, political and regulatory environment here in New York. Over the course of an 11-day trial in Dallas bankruptcy court, lawyers for New York Attorney General Letitia James have been working to have the NRA's case thrown out, saying it's nothing more than an effort to avoid accountability. In his closing argument today, James' attorney said the National Rifle Association intentionally deceived its own board of directors when it filed for bankruptcy protection in January, calling again for the case to be dismissed, saying it was nothing more than a circus sideshow.
They want to sweep right under the carpet the failure of school security, the failure of family.
That's NRA Executive Vice President Wayne LaPierre speaking a week after the school shooting in Parkland, Florida. The bankruptcy trial has revealed a lot about the operations of the powerful gun rights group and the life and work of LaPierre, who, court was told, flies exclusively on private jets, sailed around the Bahamas for security reasons, and never sends emails or text messages. New York's Attorney General says not only is the NRA not broke, its bankruptcy filing is part of a bigger plan to reincorporate in Texas after 150 years in New York, where it was founded and where it faces growing scrutiny. The NRA has accused James, a Democrat, of weaponizing her powers to pursue a blatant and malicious retaliation campaign against the group because she doesn't like what it represents. The bankruptcy case coincides with another series of mass shootings in the U.S. and a call from President Biden for a ban on assault weapons and tighter restrictions on gun ownership. And the case of the state of New York and its Attorney General Letitia James largely built around the testimony of an NRA board member who described the National Rifle Association as a kingdom and Wayne LaPierre as king. Live in New York, Tom Negevin, News Nation.
All right, Tom, thank you.
All right, so we have the lovely exciting pizza gift card giveaway. Avoid the Noid. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take The 10th caller? Is that what you said?
10th caller.
Okay, I'm taking the phone off. Do not disturb. So, the number's right there on the screen. The clock is ticking. We're going to take the 10th caller, and you will win the Domino's, I'm sorry, pizza gift card giveaway.
We did tweet to Domino's, so who knows? Maybe they want to become a sponsor of the show. We'll see.
We'll give away Domino's cards like everyone. You get a Domino's card, and you get a Domino's card, and you get a Domino's card. And my Boo Bear gets a Domino's card. He loves pizza.
They want everybody to avoid the Noid.
Avoid the Noid. All right, so you guys can see the number, right? It's 805-669-6397. 805-669-6397. 805 Mox News. It's Domino's. Come on, Domino's are everywhere. You know you want this. You can get one of those. You can get whatever you want. I don't have to tell you what to get. Or not, that's fine. I don't really care.
We use it if nobody calls.
Yeah, we'll get a pizza for Boo Bear.
Oh.
Press 1 to take this call.
Hello, caller. You're caller number 1.
Oh, man.
Call back quick.
I love it, the reactions.
Oh, dang. Is that someone calling?
Yeah.
So you need to press 1 to take
Pressing 1. Hello, caller. You're caller number 2.
Hey, I want pizza.
We all do, my brother. Call back
quick.
Call back quick. Caller number 2. Caller number 3 coming up.
So you need to press 1 to take
Pressed 1, you fucking cow. Hello, caller. You're caller number 3.
Shit. I want pizza.
Shit, fuck. Shit, fuck, bitch. That's my Tourette's. Okay, so the number's right there on the screen. 805-669. They have Domino's everywhere. The people like the Domino's. I don't get it.
I wonder if Sober Sean will call in tonight.
I would love to have a Domino's card. I really would. All right.
So you need to press 1 to take this call.
Hello, caller. You're caller number 4. May the 4th be with you. Call back soon. That's caller number 4. Who will be caller number 5? I know people want this. I know you can see it. You know what I think it is? People watching on their phone.
Oh,
You know
they
what
don't
I
want
mean?
to jump off the stream.
I think
Yeah.
that might be it. You think a lot of people watch on their phone? I don't know. But it's caller number 5.
The Cinco de Mayo. It's a slow,
That's
slow
tomorrow,
night.
right? Man, we should go get some
Tomorrow's
Mexican food.
There you go.
So you need to press 1 to take this call.
Hello?
Oh.
That was
Get him?
So you need to press 1 to take this call.
Hello? Hello?
Pizza.
5.
There was a caller number 5 a minute ago. We're caller number 5. Call back soon. There was caller number. There was caller number 5, and I don't know what happened. And then there was caller number 6.
But that was actually caller number 5. You didn't talk to anybody. Oh, this will be caller number 6.
So you need to press 1 to take this call.
Hello, caller. You're caller number 6. Call back quick. That's
Just
caller
write the
6.
Dogecoin,
We have
maybe.
3 more callers, and that person will get the Domino's Pizza gift card giveaway.
All that looks like is the ace deuce on the dice to me. 2 craps, 3.
All Craig sees is dice. All the time, dice, 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 dice.
Throw the ace deuce for 15 to 1.
Is that what you get? Same as
15 to
the
1
same
on
as the
ace
yo?
deuce. No, ace deuce is the same. Yeah, same as the yo.
So you need
Which
to press
caller
1
is
to take
this?
call.
Caller number 7. Oh.
All right, moving it along.
Yep.
Hello, caller. You're caller number 8.
2 away. All right. 2 away.
Call
baby.
back quick. 2 more callers.
Nobody wants to be caller number 9.
Who will win?
Who's
gonna win? Better call now.
Unlucky caller number 9.
Number 9. Number 9. Number 9.
Number 9.
We're gonna give it away. We're gonna do this thing. I know we can do it. Come on, let's all work together to make this happen.
Nobody wants to be caller number 9. That's so funny.
Domino's Pizza gift card giveaway. We only need 2 more callers. Just 2 more. Just 2 more. You can do it. You can do it. Oh. You did it on the donations. That was so nice of you guys.
Is it Daniel from Ohio?
So you need to press 1 to take this call.
Hello, caller. You're caller number 9.
Oh.
Hello, caller.
Oh, no. The caller hung up.
Oh, caller number 10 just hung up.
Uh-oh.
Holy shit.
Oh. Next caller is...
You need to press 1 to take this call.
Hello, caller. You're caller number 10, winner of the pizza gift card.
Who is this? Who is it?
Who is this?
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Who is it?
I agree.
Who is it?
Did I win the pizza?
You did.
Who is it?
Holy crap.
Who is it?
I'm so excited.
Reveal yourself, caller. Who are you? Who are you in the chat?
Hey, I'm Aaron Friedman.
Who?
Freeman.
Oh, no shit.
Good to hear from you, Freeman. Thanks for calling. You win the Domino's card. Craig's going to take your information.
Transfer him over to another call so I can get his info.
Yeah, Craig's going to find out all about you now.
Well, we got to send it out to you, so I'm going to drop you off of this line onto a more private phone so the whole entire viewing audience doesn't know where you are. You can remain anonymous. And
That's good. I don't like to talk to the people.
There you go. All right, stand by. I'm going to transfer you to the super secret number. And let's see. Okay, here. I got to do this quietly. Stand by. All right. It'll ring over here.
Hey, Vitra. Are you taking that phone? No? Okay.
Yep, I'll take it on the mobile.
All right, so if anybody wants to call, the numbers on the screen. I guess I'm the call screener now. That was awesome, giving away the pizza gift card, and it's very interesting to see Freeman win. He's here every night giving me shit. You guys know it's true. So anyways, thanks so much to you all for helping us make that happen, because I always enjoy giving away the gift cards. It always seems like a lot of fun. More of you need to participate. It will be more exciting then. Okay, so I'm going to play a video about Caitlyn Jenner, who is a strong and beautiful woman. Caitlyn Jenner talking about transsexual females competing in women's sports. And Caitlyn Jenner thinks that that's a very bad idea, at which I thought many people would probably find quite interesting considering.
In the meantime, Caitlyn Jenner says she opposes transgender girls competing in girls' sports at school. And many transgender rights advocates are criticizing that decision. Jenner came out as a transgender woman back in 2015. NewsNation correspondent Nancy Liu was live in Los Angeles with more on Jenner's announcement and the reaction. Nancy.
Nicole, since announcing her run for California governor, Caitlyn Jenner has yet to outline any major policy proposals for this state. But her latest stance on transgender girls competing in women's sports has many noting a complete flip on a significant issue here in California and across the country.
Question of fairness. That's why I oppose biological boys who are trans competing in girls' sports in school. It just isn't fair.
That weekend comment by Caitlyn Jenner to TMZ has triggered an onslaught of criticism. Many point to 2015 when Jenner publicly supported trans athletes competing as who they are. And others note her stance would have kept her out of the 1976 Olympics, where Jenner won gold in the men's decathlon. The 71-year-old has doubled down by tweeting, "I didn't expect to get asked this on my Saturday morning coffee run, but I'm clear about where I stand. It's an issue of fairness, and we need to protect girls' sports in our schools."
It's another example in a long line of many oppressed people coming out against their own community. And that's what Caitlyn Jenner is doing, and it's inexcusable.
Lori Jean is CEO of the LA LGBT Center. She claims Jenner is merely pandering to conservatives.
She has every reason to know the science behind this, and that is that transgender women who are on hormone therapy have no greater competitive advantage over other women.
Jenner's stance is in line with a conservative effort to ban transgender females from competing in girls' or women's sports at all levels. Bills have been filed by Republicans in more than 30 states, including Florida, West Virginia, Alabama, Arkansas, and Ohio.
We want every little girl to be able to compete on a level playing field, and when biological males compete in female-only sports, it robs female of athletic opportunity.
Transgender girls have been playing sports since people have been playing sports. Transgender girls have been playing sports on school teams here in Ohio for over a decade with zero issues.
So far this year, bans on trans girls competing as girls have already passed in 5 states. Also, Arkansas has outlawed doctors from providing any gender-affirming treatment to anyone under the age of 18. Live in LA, Nancy Liu, News Nation.
She's a bitch, right?
Every time I see that lady,
She's a bitch,
Nancy
right?
Liu,
She's a bitch,
I
right?
always add
She's a bitch,
who to the
right?
end of her name.
She's a
Nancy
bitch,
Liu
right?
who.
She's a
And
bitch, right?
I think
She's
it's
a bitch,
because of the
right?
Grinch, right?
She's
but
a bitch,
it's Cindy
right?
Lou Who.
She's a bitch.
And you know what
right?
else? You know
She's
how
a
I
bitch,
love
right?
The Fifth Element,
She's
the
a bitch,
movie The Fifth
right?
Element.
She's a bitch,
I am so
right?
surprised that more parents don't name their daughters Lilu, because that's a great name. And I've never met anyone with that name. Although there was this girl on webcam that I used to watch from time to time, and her name was Lilu, or at least that was her screen name, which I appreciated. So, and again, back to Caitlyn Jenner speaking out about this. And when I was saying considering, it's because they're talking about transgender, and they're talking about sports. So in her earlier days, when she was Bruce and not Caitlyn, she was considered an unstoppable force in pro tennis. And so she speaks from a place of, understanding better than most of us. So at the same time, she has this, I think she has like this kind of Republican standpoint, where she might be trying to appeal more to conservatives. But like I said, she has a viewpoint that is, that very few people would be able to, understand. So it might be good to listen to what she's saying. And again, she's kind of a freak. So you want to take that with a grain of salt, so to speak. Not that I have a problem with freaks. I love freaks. I love freaks. Freaks are my favorite, as far as people go. Because, they do their own thing. People who, are always trying to please other people, or trying to fit in or something, doesn't really work for me. And it's not just me that it doesn't work for. It doesn't work for them. I don't work for them either, because I'm a freak, and those people don't much want to be around freaks, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so I have a couple of videos left. I have a video about I have a video left about hospital infections and how they hide these things and keep the media from allowing them to do stories on them. I have that coming up. But I also have a story about the governor of Florida signing an executive order to end all COVID restrictions in his state. And I thought that you all might want to know about that in case you don't already, because it seems pretty important considering people tend to pack them into nightclubs in Miami and Florida, all over Florida. So it seems like, if there's ever going to be a super spreader event, it was Florida. But I think that these people have just stopped anyways, So anyway, I thought this was important information just in case we see what happens in response,
Well, today, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed an executive order to suspend all COVID restrictions in the state. But some local leaders say removing those measures too soon can be dangerous. NewsNation correspondent Brian Enton is in Miami. So, Brian, what's the response from people you've spoken with?
Well, Nicole, it really depends on who you talk to. The Florida governor has been very against these restrictions for quite some time, but up until now, cities and counties have been able to impose their own restrictions. Well, this morning, the governor said that will not be allowed anymore, and vaccine passports will also not be allowed.
Today is the 3rd of March.
With the stroke of a pen, mask mandates, social distancing guidelines, and any other COVID-related rules will not be allowed in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis says Florida is no longer in a state of emergency.
I think folks that are saying that they need to be policing people at this point, if you're saying that, you really are saying you don't believe in the vaccines. You don't believe in the data. You don't believe in the science. We've embraced the vaccines. We've embraced the science on it.
Several Florida counties had mask mandates, but that was before DeSantis' executive order today wiped them out. St. Petersburg Mayor Rick Kreisman called the governor's decision dangerous.
If he's suspending all of our orders immediately, then you're going to be able to go into a restaurant and you never have to wear this again. And we can all expect to see our hospitalizations increase. Unfortunately, we'll probably see an increase in deaths. But I guess that's not important.
So how does Florida compare to other states with tighter restrictions? The percent positive in Florida has been about 9% for the last month. In New York, that number is much lower at 3%. And in California, it's 1%. But look what happens when you compare COVID deaths over the last month. Florida has less than both New York and California.
Dr. Gandhi, what do you say to people who think, gosh, I got both vaccines, I waited, I'm fully vaccinated. Why can't I just take this mask off now?
I think it's more of kind of a polite thing maybe at this moment, that other people are wearing their masks inside and it's kind of a social norm, and that's how I'm seeing it. It's not going to be very long. There are going to also be, by the way, people who still want a mask inside after this, and that's totally understandable. But I really don't think the country will keep a mask mandate past the time when we get to a certain vaccination rate.
And this is an important point when it comes to the Florida governor's new executive order. It does not apply to private businesses, so places like gyms and supermarkets, if they choose to, can still have their own mask mandates. Live in Miami, Brian Enton, News Nation.
So you guys remember last night when it was showing the, it wasn't showing you, but on my OBS screen, which is how we how we mix all the video together, OBS. On my OBS screen, it said copyrighted video detected, your stream may end, or something like that. And I was saying that I put music at the end of the, where it says, Mox News survives solely on contributions. I put music at the end of those, and I was like, that's copyright free, or fair use music that I got from YouTube, but that's not what it was. It was a clip. I did a clip yesterday during the show about the origins of COVID-19. I don't know if you guys remember that, where they're saying that it could have, recently released classified information, which is very convenient. Or recently declassified information, and it said that there's a good chance that it came from a lab in China. So not from bats, not from langoins, which are so tasty, but from a lab. That's what they're saying it could have. So again, I don't know why on earth there would be labs that were creating biological warfare, because what could possibly go wrong, right? We might kill everyone on the planet, every living thing for that matter, and not give a damn while we're doing it. As long as we're making a few bucks while we're doing it, who cares? They're just people and living creatures. Why would anyone care about that? We're making money, dude. And you wonder why, in Western movies, there's never anything about integrity, never anything about honor. Maybe it's because we only care about money. And if we can make money, we don't mind having biological labs and wars of choice based on lies to make rich people more rich, because that's all that matters. Okay, so I have another video for you about, well, wait, I'm going to take just a second here, and I'm going to play the white privilege card, because I always enjoy playing the white privilege card.
Trump won the election. Among the suspects' possessions, this is real, a white privilege card. I want you to take a look at this. It's a fake white privilege credit card. Subtitle, Trump's everything. The card holder, scot-free, with 2 T's. Scot-free is actually spelled with 1 T, but, you know, 2 T's on that card. That one piece of evidence, an insight into the man's state of mind, that he can get away with anything because of his skin color. His lawyer saying this to CNN. This was a guy...
This guy is such a snarky little twat. All right, so where was I? Oh, right, I have a video about hospital infections and how they... oh, and if anybody wants to call, the number's right there on the screen, 805-669-6397. We will be happy to take your call. Otherwise, I'm going to play another video. This one is about hospital infections and how they keep the media from reporting on them. Some kind of like secret law thing. It's not like HIPAA laws, it's something else. And it's coming out in the open, but by this local news station, and they're investigative reporters, and it became a big lawsuit and everything. And I thought that it was, at this time in particular, probably something that everyone should know about if you don't already.
Seattle Children's Hospital is dropping a lawsuit against King 5 after losing an appeals court decision. The hospital sued our television station and the Public Health Department in 2019.
The lawsuit blocked the release of public documents about mold contamination at the hospital that killed at least 7 patients and sickened more than a dozen others.
As King 5 investigator Chris Ingalls reports, the latest ruling could set a precedent that leads to better patient safety.
In July of 2013, I was scheduled to have my bone marrow transplant. I was diagnosed in 2012 when I was 11.
Athena was a sick girl nearly 10 years ago, waiting for a bone marrow transplant. She checked in at Seattle Children's for a pre-transplant surgery. Doctors inserted this intravenous tube called a Hickman line in her chest.
What were the first signs that something was wrong?
It was just this cough that I had, and I was secreting mucus. Yeah, I deteriorated pretty badly.
She got much sicker, and doctors soon determined she was infected by a mold called Aspergillus. The hospital did not tell her it had a history of Aspergillus infecting patients in its operating rooms dating back to 2001.
My parents weren't told anything about that. They were told maybe, Seattle's a wet place, just... They were kind of beating around the bush, never really getting to the core of it. We had no idea where I contracted the Aspergillus from until I saw the King 5 news story in 2019.
Seattle Children's has closed some operating rooms due to mold.
She saw our coverage in the summer of 2019, the first time the hospital publicly admitted to the mold problem and shut down its operating rooms for cleaning. And she wondered if her infection 7 years earlier could have come from one of those same operating rooms.
You didn't know that you might have contracted this at the hospital?
No, I had no idea that I contracted it at the hospital, that saved me, the hospital that I love very much. I feel hurt that we weren't aware of this, that we didn't have a choice.
One way that hospitals keep their secrets is stamped in red on documents related to the Aspergillus problem at Seattle Children's. The hospital declares those records quality improvement or QI records that are protected by law from release to the public, lawyers, and even patients like Athena.
It definitely makes me really angry to know that they're trying to hide this information that the public should know. Why shouldn't the public know that there's a raging infection going on at a hospital where all the kids there are vulnerable?
Good afternoon, everyone. Go ahead and be seated.
In late 2019, Seattle Children's took the QI exemption to a new level. It filed a lawsuit to block King County Public Health Department from giving some Aspergillus-related records to King 5. The hospital argued that its QI exemption extended even to public records kept by the Public Health Department.
I've had a chance to review the documents that were handed to me.
After a long court fight, Judge Ken Schubert ultimately sided with King 5 and ordered the release of most of the records, a decision the Washington Appeals Court recently upheld.
Why does QI exist? What is its purpose?
Its purpose is to quickly analyze and try to understand the systemic roots of any patient safety events and try to fix them.
Cassie Sauer, the president of the Washington State Hospital Association, says hospitals need privacy for their QI process so medical staff can speak freely without fear of lawsuits.
Because you don't know if you have a problem, and you want to be able to examine it without fear of exposing yourself to liability.
It's basically a statutory way for them to keep a code of silence.
Seattle lawyer Karen Kohler counters that hospitals routinely claim the QI exemption on telltale documents in medical malpractice cases to keep them secret. She says the ruling in our case against Seattle Children's sets a precedent that could limit a hospital's use of QI in cases about public health.
We are just thrilled that King 5 took this on. Your case will help to level that playing field so that hopefully they will think twice before marking a document QI and putting in a file that will never see the light of day.
Kohler represents 25 patients who claim Seattle Children's infected them with Aspergillus.
I mean, simply put, children are dying.
They include Athena, who wants to know if the hospital that saved her life with a bone marrow transplant also risked her life by infecting her with Aspergillus.
And I'm really grateful for the life I have today because, once again, so many kids didn't make it.
Again, at least 7 young patients died from mold infections they acquired at this hospital. A hospital spokesperson declined to talk on camera for this story. However, after losing the appeals court decision, the hospital did start releasing some of the disputed documents to us. We hope to be able to tell you what it was they've been trying to keep secret in a future story. In Seattle, Chris Ingalls, King 5 News.
Okay, so that's my last video. I thought that was important because, again, these people would never lie to us. They would never mislead us. They would never care about money more than everything else. And I think that's really important because, a lot of people are like, hospital-oriented, doctor-oriented. And when you see these things happen, it's kind of eye-opening. Like, necessarily they don't have your best interest at heart, which is really sad. Like I always say, the for-profit medical industrial, there's a serious problem with the for-profit medical industrial complex. And that problem is that they have alternative motives, meaning, they're there to make money. And they don't make money if they don't have sick people. So that's very conflicting. And we deserve better, and your children deserve better, and hopefully one day we'll have better. Boo Bear, you ready? Huh? Bubba? You ready? All right. We're almost out of here, buddy. Okay, we do this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which means we'll be back tomorrow, same Mox time, same Mox channel. By the way, Kennedy is saying something like, what's she saying? Same time, same channel, which I never heard her say before. So I find that interesting. Coincidence? Again, we'll be back tomorrow. Same Mox time, same Mox channel. So, and it's always nicer when you're here. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope we see you there tomorrow. And remember, until then, one of these days this war is going to end. Stay cool till then.
I mean, this coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. I wish the coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack.
Sometimes life can be a little overwhelming. Sometimes the weight of the world can be too much to bear. Sometimes you need to stop worrying and take a deep breath. Sometimes you need cannabis. Introducing Brightside, high-quality cannabis delivered right to your door. Brightside offers an extensive menu of strains and products to meet your needs. Choose the experience you want, and we'll send you the dankest herb, the real sticky icky, some top-shelf marijuana. If you like what we send you, keep the whole jar. We'll even include some nugs for you to blaze. As part of Discovery, you'll get to try new strains and products. Side effects may include euphoria, increased appetite, uncontrollable giggles, elevated sensitivity to musical dopeness, and reduced anxiety. Tetrahydrocannabinol may also induce feelings of existential well-being and relentless optimism. With a Brightside subscription, you can get it once a month, once a week, or whenever you want, all at a price you'll like. And yes, this is a real company.
Do you know who I am?
You're the wizard.
Ask your doctor if cannabis is right for you. It probably is. Keep it Brightside.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.